Floors and more. Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
1819 News.
Governor Ivey traveled to Demopolis on Wednesday to sign a bill into law that paves the way for a healthcare science school to be established in that city. The school will provide a free healthcare education to high school students that will be focused on science, technology, engineering, and math. Ivey mentioned her desire to see this idea come to fruition during her State of the State address at the start of 2024. The governor says this healthcare science school will open the door for students to have a career within the healthcare workforce. Ivey is pushing for the school to be built and operating in the next 2 years. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Where I was living was not a great place to live anymore. I began to pray for a place to go, praying for all of these things that a 9-year-old would want. I wanted horses, big house, with a bunch of people my age. I wanted parents. I wanted a mom and a dad. Before I even prayed it, the Lord had already answered my prayer with the Big Oak Ranch. Who would that 9-year-old be if she never came to the Big Oak Ranch? I would be trying to fight for survival instead of fighting to break a cycle.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
3 people were arrested in Mobile for the shooting death of a 14-year-old girl while she was riding in a car. 20-year-old Lamanye Forrest and 18-year-old Samaj James are seeking to be classified as youthful offenders, while 38-year-old Archie Petit is not eligible. The 3 men are all charged with shooting at a car that had turned down a road where they were. The men assumed it was the car of people that they had a dispute with earlier, and a chain reaction of shooting occurred. Sierra Jackson was the passenger killed inside. She was with her 15-year-old aunt, who was at the wheel. Jackson had come in from Houston, Texas, to visit family. Bessemer City Schools is receiving a huge donation from Amazon to place writing labs in each school. The $100,000 donation was awarded to the school at the Writers' Conference being held this week at the Bessemer Civic Center. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon, and we have some exciting news to share with you. We've been serving the state of Alabama for many, many years, and now we are able and ready to offer the same great mortgage financing in Georgia and Florida as well.
Our company may be Alabama Home Mortgage, but now we can finance your Georgia home mortgage and your Florida home mortgage too. We couldn't be more excited to extend our customer base to our neighboring states. For years, we have had customers call us in hopes we could assist them with purchasing their vacation cabin in North Georgia or their dream home in Florida. And now we can. For those of you who have family and friends that live in Florida and Georgia, be sure to tell them the good news.
Whether you are looking to purchase or refinance a home located in Alabama, Georgia, or Florida, you owe it to yourself to give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time.
It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-368, Equal Housing Lender.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by the... So you know the thing. This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views. In the afternoon, or if you're called the show online, Joey Clark Live. And, well, I want to begin with a quote. We have a president who does not care about the country. That's from Coleman County Sheriff Matt Gentry. And he was part of a panel put together by, I believe, Senator Tuberville, Coach Tommy Tuberville. Senator Katie Britt was also on the panel, as well as Senator Rick Scott is all there. Marsha Blackburn, Pam Bondi helped moderate things there. I guess she was Attorney General there in Florida there for a while. And on the phone we have, well, one of the other folks on the panel. We have Catherine Robertson. She is, of course, Chief Counsel to the Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall. Catherine, how are you this afternoon?
I'm well. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being on the program. So you were there in person. What was your main takeaways from the discussion of the panel?
Well, I think for one, it's pretty unusual to be in Washington D.C. and have that many people in the same room that all share the same views on things. So it was an encouraging conversation just to hear from our federal and local partners. I being the state representative, just about how we all see the same problems and want to work together for solutions.
Well, and you have a long background yourself, I know, working on these issues with crime and also the interfacing between the feds and, say, state and local law enforcement. Do you think we're going in the right direction right now in this country? I'll put it simply like that.
Oh, I think it was definitely the consensus of the group that we're going in the absolute wrong direction. And I think that, we can do what we can at the state level. We can do what we can at the local level. But really, we've seen what it's like when we're all on the same page, when we're all working towards the same goals, which is public safety. We saw that during the Trump administration, and we have seen just the very obvious difference in the way that things have gone under this administration. I mean, their policies and just their mindset and what's coming down from the Justice Department really does trickle down to states and cities, and I think it was certainly the consensus of the group that we need a big change in Washington.
Well, and it comes across as like the problems to me are violent crime, of course, but also the massive drug overdoses we're especially seeing with fentanyl. And it's even, I think, wrong to call them overdose. You're thinking of somebody who just took too much of something. It's almost poisoning at a certain point, where this fentanyl is within all sorts of other illicit drugs. Is a big part of this porous, just free, wide open border we have to the south of us.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a lot about immigration. It's kind of hard to talk about crime without talking about illegal immigration because, like you just said, because of the flow of drugs and most specifically fentanyl. I mean, I think people may tend to kind of roll their eyes to hear that Alabama has those problems because we're not near the border, but the Federal Drug Task Force has identified Alabama as running along what they call the trafficking superhighway running between Texas and Atlanta around the 2059 corridor. And so we do experience the downflow effects of drugs and fentanyl and the violent crime that's actually associated with serious drug trafficking.
And, when I see stats like, for instance, Venezuela's crime rate is at an all-time low historically, it makes me think, to quote President Trump, they're not sending their best here into the country. And I'm also seeing headlines of more Chinese nationals entered the country, I think, last month than they have ever. It's more than just, folks looking for opportunity. It seems like there are some very awful characters being brought in by the Biden administration.
There's no question. I think the selling point that these are just people looking for a better life has really just become a lie because the numbers prove it. It's just there can't be that many people coming from China, coming from these other countries that are just, want an opportunity, and that's not what we're seeing. And, one thing that's been brought up is how many people Biden has paroled. The immigration parole system was used on a very limited basis by the Trump administration, and he has, more than quadrupled the number coming in. So, the statistics prove that, like you said, we're not getting the best and brightest, and it shouldn't be a surprise that we're experiencing a crime wave as a result of that.
And while we're seeing this crime wave, from the open border being a big part of it, plus I think there are still a lot of problems that, say, shutting down the economy during COVID created, and we're still dealing with that legacy. We're also seeing, and still in a lot of places, difficulty recruiting police officers. It doesn't seem like there are enough folks who want to do the job. Are you seeing this as well?
No, listen, our police numbers are down in our biggest cities, specifically in Birmingham. I've heard some different statistics on how low their numbers are right now. But look, policemen and aspiring policemen, they are not dumb. They understand local politics. They understand where the support's going to be and where it won't be. They understand policies that are going to support them or won't. And they're not going to go sign up to put their life on the line in cities that are not going to have their backs. And that is something that we have tried to change, from our place in Montgomery. But, local leaders have to address it. They're the ones that are recruiting chiefs and recruiting officers. And I mean, if they don't feel like they're going to be supported when they make tough decisions, there's no reason for them to sign up and risk their lives.
Now, is that a policy aspect where you have the right policies in place so officers know you have their back, or is it also a little bit of a culture, say a chief or a mayor or a leader can create?
It's absolutely both. I mean, you can have policies in place that support them. You can have, benefits and different things that make them want to come. But it's also, like you said, it's a culture. Is the community going to support them? Is the mayor, is the city council going to stand with them when things go wrong and they have to restore order? And I think too often you're seeing, fortunately, mostly outside of Alabama, but at times inside some of our larger cities, they're just not sure where people are going to be when the going gets tough, and that's not somewhere you're going to sign up to go out and put yourself in harm's way.
And now, for folks who don't know that much about you, and I certainly don't, but I read a little bit, you're part of the Federalist Society here?
Yeah, I've been a long time member of the Federalist Society.
What is your sense when you sometimes see a left-wing activist or the talking head chattering class try to demonize something I think as wholesome as the Federalist Society, some dark secret society or whatever?
The Federalist Society is far from dark or secret. It's a nonprofit, bipartisan organization. Now it's based on people who believe that there's a textualist reading of the Constitution is appropriate, but they actually encourage debate, and often their programming lines up, two people from opposing sides. Dating back to law school, I was involved there, and you would always have two sides of the issue presented and have the opportunity to ask questions. So it's far from sinister.
Well, and you in college were both major campuses. I also got a BS. I emphasized the BS in poli-sci when I went to Auburn. I'd imagine your GPA was a little better than mine, but then you went on to Alabama for law school there. It is nice to see that even with all the college campuses and the ruckus going on, I know there's a little bit of the protest going on at the University of Alabama, but it seems like us here in Alabama, we don't have the same issues as other states are with their institution.
Oh, yeah. Auburn and Alabama have fared remarkably well. In fact, I think a lot of out-of-state kids are starting to recognize the value of getting a public education at one of our universities. I think they're going to see all their numbers go up as a result. I actually was in the airport last night with the new dean of the University of Alabama School of Law, Bill Brubaker, who was one of my professors, and I was giving him that compliment, and we were talking about that exact thing.
Well, I appreciate your time today. If you had any advice, it might be that there isn't much an average citizen can do, but I'm sitting here wondering, what can an average citizen do to help with the crime issue? I'm not saying we need to go all vigilante. Don't be wearing any costumes, folks. But, I mean, what can the average person do to help support law enforcement, police, and support the work y'all are doing?
You got to know who you're voting for. That's the best thing you can do, especially in local elections and even statewide elections. Voters just don't know enough about the people that they're casting a ballot for. And the more you know, the more questions you can ask. You need to know their position on crime. You need to know their position on public safety, because really it's the local level politicians that are ones that are making the decisions closest to your local police. Same with your sheriff's races. Know who you're voting for, know what they stand for, because they're going to be the ones that are there when the going gets tough, and you need to know who you're putting in office.
Well, I really do appreciate your time. I know y'all are very busy there at the AG's office. A lot going on in this world. So I'd love to talk again, though, when the time is right. I really do appreciate it, Catherine.
Thank you for having me.
Again, folks, that's Catherine Robertson, Chief Counsel to Steve Marshall, the Alabama Attorney General. And I watched some of the panel. I have to admit, some of the audio of the panel they put together there for this roundtable, and it was I saw Tuberville there, I saw Katie Britt there, Marsha Blackburn, Rick Scott of Florida, all these senators, Pam Bondi, and they're going back and forth. I believe the whole stream's on Tuberville's Twitter page, Twitter X, but it's good to see the whole gang get together and just talk out this issue. I think next week we'll have the Attorney General himself and be talking about, well, I would love to get a read on, because we hear this. By the way, Eddie and Byron are here. How y'all doing?
Doing well.
I'd love to get a read on this when you see, say, Nathaniel Ledbetter, the speaker, here in Alabama. Speaker of the House said, well, I think illegal gaming's going to expand now that we didn't, legitimize it. And so I'm interested in asking Steve Marshall, what is the status right now? Everybody calls, even the people trying to legitimize it and pass new laws, call it illegal. I think the last time the Supreme Court here in Alabama ruled on this stuff, a lot of them are considered illegal. But yet they're going to expand now that we didn't legitimize them. So I'd like some clarity in that regard.
If they're illegal and they're going to expand, won't they be easier to catch?
Right. Well, and my sense is sometimes it comes down to the state doesn't have the resources to go and do what, I guess, who was the attorney general who actually went in there hardcore with Riley?
King. Oh, the state troopers? Yeah.
Yeah. But
we spent some money that day.
And then also I have my sense, and this is why I want to ask the AG himself, is some of the local amendments are different for each county, like some of the different standards, what the actual language was. So I'd love to get in the weeds with him on that. But also the constant fight we're seeing with the Biden administration.
Mm-hmm.
And for instance, Title IX, I think Steve Marshall's leading the way on that. But you're also seeing, these out-of-state ads, like this constant harangue we're hearing that if you're in Alabama, if you try to, leave the state, they're going to, stop you at the border and make you take a pee on a stick or something.
Right.
For a pregnancy test. Excuse me, that was crass.
That was the database legislation, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I saw that with Senator Brett co-sponsored some legislation called the Moms Act.
Yeah.
And it wanted to create a website called pregnancy.gov, but it wasn't for you to register. It was, you could go to pregnancy.gov. Here are all the resources in your area was the basic idea. Like a one-stop shop website, which when I look at the cost of some of these things, I'm like, how much does it cost to set up a damn website? But
doesn't Google do that? I mean, can't you just type something in and take care of it on your own?
But there was a move to essentially try to offer more resources to mothers, to soon-to-be mothers, those thinking about it, and the corporate press ran with it as Katie Britt in particular is trying to set up a database to track you. And I'm like, I'm getting a little excited now because when I read Handmaid's Tale, Margaret Atwood, right?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm like, I think this could work. That's what happens. Like, for all the women out there, I think she's on to something. Wait, was it satire? Was it like a dystopian warning? Or I thought it was great.
I'm against lists in general, so the farther we can get away from that, the better.
Right. It's just the constant battle over cultural issues, over so much going on. It would be nice if we could do the basic fundamental roles of government. If we're going to have a government, if I'm going to go along with that for the sake of argument, though I'm not fully convinced, then why can't we do the basic things? Like stop murderers, stop thieves. When people tear up property and are rioting and looting, how about you stop them?
Because the donor crowd doesn't care.
Yeah.
And the politicians are only going to do what they're paid to do.
Yeah.
They do care so long as it's not in their neighborhood. Or they don't care so long as it's not in their neighborhood. But yeah, the donor class is.
I mean, that's honestly, let's be honest, that's who's running it.
Insulated for sure.
If you want to see any change come, you have to affect the donor class. Then maybe something will trickle down to you and me.
Well, and there was something. Our Joe Reed when he was on the show, I guess was that Monday?
Yeah, it was Monday. Yeah.
And it was a great discussion with him.
Great.
But he said a line that I'd heard elsewhere, where it's like with democracy, if you're going to want the dog, you're going to get fleas.
Yes.
And there is this line of thought amongst Democrats and more left-leaning folks that, all this crime we're seeing, all this, substance abuse we're seeing, all these just, ailments and pathologies of despair. This is just, the cost of freedom and living in a democracy. And I refuse to believe that.
You don't feel free.
Right.
Yeah, it's not like you do not. Thank God we don't have it as bad here. But to have entire blocks essentially be zombie land, with people hunched over on opioids or whatnot, like that is not freedom. Hey, how about you clean up the damn public streets? Because if those streets were private, it wouldn't be that way. And that's where I get freaking frustrated because it's like the basic. Like, even if you had, basic just law, all you had was rule of law, it was essentially anarchy, and you enforce it. I'd imagine some of the basic standards people would, revolve around, come to congregate and agree, would be like, don't hurt people, don't take their stuff.
Right.
And it's also not compassionate to let crazy people and drug addicts camp out on the street and fester in their despair.
In California, they're going to do something about that.
What?
We're going to start giving them vodka.
You told me about
Get the homeless drunk. It makes them much happier. Apparently,
Who
That's
is
the
doing
study.
this?
I'll
It's the
pull up the
city.
story, but
I mean,
yeah,
it's in San
it's literally a
Francisco.
city.
Yeah.
The city initiative.
Yeah, city sponsored. Yeah,
Talk about colluding with the Russians.
So yeah, who? Just ask who's the distributor, who's vodka, who's getting paid, and who is the moron that said this is a good idea.
That's
Because they're
absolutely
already on the street because they're perfectly sane. Let's put some vodka in them.
Well, and I've heard it said, especially with like the real problems with homelessness in the country. And I did when I went to Salem. I didn't see too many homeless in Boston. I think it's just the areas we were in. But when we got to Salem, we stopped at one bar, pretty cool warehouse, turned into a German beer garden, and right across the canal, it's like there's Homeless Central, and all the folks camping out. And you look at that, and there's this idea called telescopic philanthropy. So you write a check, you donate to an organization to go and help those folks, but you don't ever have to.
That's what I call Democrat philanthropic, or philanthropic views.
Right.
You know,
But
like
you do it from
conservatives-
afar with that telescope where you're like,
you don't go get
you
your,
don't get your hands dirty.
and actually help.
Exactly. You don't want to smell them.
And
Got to keep them at arm's length.
To your point,
And it doesn't solve the problem, by the way. either.
Approximately
It
about
makes me feel better.
50% of homeless people suffer from like severe mental
Yes.
illness,
Right.
schizophrenia, things like that. So yeah.
So let's put the
adding
liquor to 'em.
alcohol to the fire is not going to.
Now, does anybody sitting here know why we got rid of the mental hospitals and mental institutions, in particular here in the state? Because I remember we used to have them.
I was very young, but I was always told it was budget.
And I've heard that some were like literal places of torture. Like some of the procedures pretty heinous. You think of
that could be
lobotomies
addressed-
and.
that could be addressed on an
By the way, it was
individualized basis.
mostly women who were lobotomized.
Really? Imagine that.
Can you imagine that?
My grandfather went through electric shock at Bryce.
Like electric shock therapy.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Did it fix him?
Well, in one way or the other.
Good.
I mean,
I'm sorry to get
seriously.
so dark here.
No, I found letters from his time there.
Yeah.
And you could see a distinct difference.
Is that right?
Before and like after.
And I've had some electrical shock therapy, but it's always been unintentional.
Accidentally,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
And
Yeah.
There's probably a change in my
What,
life.
you stick
too. I
your
just
tongue
never-
in the outlet or something?
No, I used to do a lot of electrical work, and as a unlicensed electrician,
You know, if you're
sometimes
having
that bites
trouble
you.
feeling anything, you could just cut yourself.
Nah,
You don't have to stick.
I've
your
never been
tongue-
much of a cutter.
Yeah. By the way, I don't mean that. Don't do that. Self harm is not a good thing. Okay.
Never been much of a cutter.
Goodness gracious. But yeah, when you see all the pathologies in our society, you're like, how are we? We're talking about how we're going to save the world for democracy. How we're going to make everything equitable and inclusive, yada, yada, yada. We're all these pie in the sky, like big dreams. And the way you really stop crime is you solve poverty, even though, poverty will always, by definition, kind of be there. Instead of, hey, how about we actually enforce basic rules of the road? And I think that would allow a lot of folks in every community, if you want to be inclusive, to flourish.
We don't do that anymore, though. We literally our politicians tell us we're taking care of the problem now, and then you see they're pouring vodka on it. They will argue that the sky is no longer blue. They will sit there and tell you it's yellow, even though you and everybody knows around you it's a blue sky. They don't care about the truth.
That and they're doing the best they can. We just have to be patient.
Well, here's the thing, though. I've worked for people and I've told them I'm doing the best I could, and they're like, you know what? That ain't good enough. You're fired. Why don't we, the people, have that option? And I don't want to hear, oh, you get to vote. That's a bunch of crap. I want a recall effort.
Right.
I want term limits. I want real accountability, not just sending folks up there hoping for the best.
Yeah, but when you have the dog of democracy, sometimes you got, sometimes you get to flee. Like, you're not a proper city until you got homeless people masturbating under a bridge.
Well, I hope to God we're never become it. Well, never mind. I've already seen that. We are a proper city.
Wait, you've seen that?
Just go right up the road there.
How long ago?
45
I don't
minutes
know.
ago.
Yeah, I should say, how long ago? That around Montgomery is not uncommon anymore. I don't know if you saw watch Montgomery City Watch. There was a lady that was naked rolling down.
I remember that.
I mean, that's not I hate saying it, but it's not an oddity anymore. You're just like, oh my God, again.
Well,
so
and
when you mention about mental hospitals and the lack thereof.
And we got talking about police scanners, people that we have some folks who listen to the show have for a long time who are, since they were teenagers, right? Like avid listeners of radio scanners, police scanners. And some of the latest stuff in Montgomery, it really is harrowing. Like, I see why folks don't want to be an officer. They're outmanned at this point, outgunned in some cases.
Big time.
And so the response times are way down for, of course, heinous crimes ongoing and threats ongoing, but also things like, hey, a fender bender. Like, well, good luck.
Exchange insurance cards. And because I don't know for sure, but I think Alabama's a no-fault state at this point, so they don't care. They just don't care.
So when we talk to somebody like Catherine Robertson, or we talk to somebody like Steve Marshall, they signed up for the jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Marshall in particular was elected to the job. But I do at times feel bad for the job they have to do. Because I think in the state they get the support, but when you look at the larger trends nationwide, you're asking folks to do the job with having their hands tied behind their back.
Not only that, they're having to do the job knowing, and you and I both know, when the job is done right, they'll get canceled at the end. They will literally get run out of town.
Yep. Exactly right.
That's why we got to hire us a Shane.
A Shane?
Shane. Need some Shane.
It always comes back to that movie with them. Does that traumatize you as a child or something?
Not, just the opposite. Just the opposite.
May need to sprinkle in a little Unforgiven to go with it.
Oh, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Or and then Tombstone's always great.
Of course. So what we're saying is a good Western could solve all this.
Right.
A little vigilante justice.
No, I've noticed in Tombstone, the scene where it's raining, it very much looks like a studio set rain. Like, you can see the rain right on top of him. If you look at the horizon, there ain't no rain.
Yeah. That 3 feet of rain in front.
Are you talking about the movie, or are you talking about the moon landing?
And by the way, I love the folks out there. Did you hear I did the double negative? Ain't no rain. There are going to be people out there like, that boy has no education. He can't even speak correctly.
No,
it's like maybe you have a stick up your butt and get over yourself. I passed. I got an A in grammar class.
I say just the opposite. Our audience will be like, that boy knows how to talk.
Just tell me you were listening to the blues a lot last night, man.
Right. I'm trying not to speak in cursive as much. Right. I keep getting accused of that.
You're doing good.
Well, and that's why we bring on Craig Munger on Fridays. So it's like, you think I talk in cursive.
Right.
Oh, we got to hit a break here. But first, this part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team can help you whether you're looking to buy or sell here in the River Region real estate market. And Bo's been helping buyers and sellers here in Montgomery and the surrounding areas for over 40 years, getting close to 50. So at the Goodson Group, not only can they help you with buying and selling, they have management services available should you want to rent out your home. Great idea in this market. And then the crown jewel there is the Bo Goodson Real Estate School. That's where Bo's experience, again, 4+ decades, really comes into play. He's been through it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and you can learn direct from him. And there have been so many folks that have graduated from the Bo Goodson Real Estate School and gone on to great success, hitting the ground running with that success, whether it's fully licensed realtors or more knowledgeable private players. So give them a call today. That number, 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of News and Views in the afternoon.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group. Have you ever considered turning your home into a rental and build wealth at the same time? People throughout the River Region are doing that right now. By investing wisely in the right property or turning your current home into a rental is the secret. Hiring a property manager to professionally manage your property is the way to prosperity. Our company does all of the advertising, personally showing prospective tenants, does a thorough background check and credit report before moving forward. Over 15 critical services are provided to our clients in protecting the asset, but also providing the best residence in your home possible. Collecting rent on time and frequent inspections help landlords feel better about renting their house, and to provide clean, well-kept homes that anybody would be proud to call home. For a complete list of property management services, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Hey guys, are you looking for a professional and reliable tree service company in the Montgomery and surrounding areas? Well, check out the folks at Tree Masters. It's a name you know and trust. From pruning to full tree removal, they'll even help you remove your shrubs. They service all of Central Alabama, including Lake Martin and Lake Jordan. Call them for a free quote today at 334-676-3638. That's 334-676-3638. Tree Masters.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man. Mr. Elk, I was just wondering,
What do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Bates House of Turkey is celebrating their first anniversary in Montgomery and 100 years in business with a renovated Montgomery location. Come enjoy the famous hickory smoked turkey sandwiches, the old-fashioned roast turkey dinners, and their expanded grab-and-go frozen casseroles and soups. There's plenty of room for small groups in the expanded dining room. Order online at BatesHouseOfTurkey.com. Dine-in, carry-out, and delivery services available. Bates House of Turkey in Montgomery is open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eat turkey. Feel turkey.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your night. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Because you want to hear bacon and eggs on your outdoor griddle, not the scraping of rust. Introducing the Weber Slate Rust-Resistant Griddle. Stays ready, not rusty, with a carbon steel cooktop, pre-seasoned and ready to cook on right out of the box. The Weber Slate heats evenly edge to edge up to 500 degrees. All you'll hear is the gasp of amazement from friends and family when you serve the food. Cooking with the Weber Slate Rust-Resistant Griddle just sounds delicious and tastes even better.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
More weather changes ahead with a storm system approaching, but we've got another quiet, dry, warm day today. High around 88, good bit of sunshine. Clouds will be increasing later on, but we're dry through the evening hours tonight if you have plans, and the risk of scattered showers and thunderstorms holding off to the wee hours of Friday morning. Low 69. Tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms become likely, especially in the afternoon and evening hours when some storms could be strong, possibly severe. Locally heavy rainfall. High 84. More scattered showers and storms on Saturday. Back to sunshine Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Do you have big plans this summer? Dive into summer with an ASE Credit Union vacation loan. Whether you've got a trip coming up, projects at home, or just need a little extra cash, we've got you covered. So don't put your plans on hold. Visit yourasecu.com or stop by and see us today.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to jump in on the conversation. Eddie, I really like your shirt there today.
Like that? Bringing back some old school, baby.
Yeah, Campbell for mayor.
2 big reasons I wore it. One, because I know Byron. I know he'd appreciate it.
No doubt. Great
2,
man.
Because I'm
Great man.
skinny enough to fit my fat butt back in it.
Yeah,
for one more run.
Done.
And I don't have any stains or nothing on it yet either, so
Well,
that's always a plus.
It definitely wasn't his shirt if there's no stains on it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that homage to
Yeah,
Mr.
and
Campbell.
it's something I always keep. And it's funny because I do see occasionally, I see people wear them in the wild, and I generally know those people. But when I see one, it just brings up great memories.
He would have won that campaign.
Oh, not a doubt in my mind.
100%.
Not a doubt in my mind.
I wish he, yeah.
What might have been, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That would have been something. That would have been. That would have been
It
national
would have been
news.
too good for Montgomery, man.
It would have
Let's
been
be
national
honest.
news.
Let's be honest.
Think of Jack.
We can't have nice things.
Yeah,
We
you're
didn't
right.
deserve Jack Campbell as mayor.
But it'd been fun for a little while.
Let's go to Penny. Hey, Penny, how you doing?
Hey guys, hey, in regards to all the crime, does anyone remember when our fired police chief, the recent fired one, he was on WSFA and he asked for assistance in helping solving all of our crime. He asked for the citizens who had cameras to allow them to have access to it
I
to
do
help
remember
them solve
that.
crime.
Mhm.
Remember that?
Yep.
Well, the hypocrisy and the irony of it all is that I know of someone that recently shared some videos and some pictures with the police department on, believe it or not, some of their own City of Montgomery employees in the South. And yet when that was provided to them and sent in to them, they chose not to use it. Isn't that interesting? So I guess they only want pictures and cameras of other people, not their own committing crime. Isn't that so ironic?
Yeah, but honestly, not surprising.
Oh, no, not surprising. But, I mean, be careful what you ask for. You just might get it.
You are right.
Penny, do you mind if I ask what city council district you live in?
Julie Beard.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Newly elected Julie Beard. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
interesting.
so I just thought I would share that with you.
Well, I appreciate it, Penny.
Well,
I'm sad.
Yeah,
but
y'all
it's just
it's very
frustrating to say the
Very.
least. But yeah.
Yes, it is. So, then they wonder why they don't have police staff coming and wonder why the city's going to heck. Well, it's deteriorating from the inside out.
I think they know why. They just going to put on a false sense of we have no idea what's going on, but they know exactly what's going on. I mean, how many cops have we hired? You don't have to defund
Nobody's
the police.
coming.
You
They're
just
all
don't hire
leaving.
them.
They're all leaving.
So we got all these cameras connected, but we're just watching like it's a TV show.
Yeah. Unless you run a red light.
Well, I ain't
that's
putting
the
up a
new
camera around my
Democratic-
house.
Thank God.
Oh, I know. That's the new Democratic way in Montgomery. Lawlessness.
Yeah.
God bless y'all.
Thank you, Penny.
See you, Penny.
Thank you.
Let's go to Soldier Boy.
Soldier
Hey,
Boy.
thanks for my call, guys.
How you doing?
I just want to let you know I got back from Walt Disney 2 days ago.
Did you?
What were you doing there?
Well, having fun.
Playing with the mouse?
Well, a little bit, yeah. Minnie, of course, Minnie.
Did you ride Space Mountain?
Well, she's a biological mouse, female mouse. So,
Did
yeah,
you get
course
rid
I
of
played with her.
Tinkerbell? Have y'all seen this?
What?
Tinkerbell is
Yes.
Done.
86.
Wow.
Dude, Susanna has a good friend that used to play Tinkerbell.
What's wrong with Tinkerbell?
People had problems with her.
Why? She was the...
Her.
You want to see something bad, guys? I went into the gift shop, okay, and where they had, and there was a fairy godmother, and it had more hair and more facial hair and a better beard than me.
Yeah, it really
I'm
changes
like-
the story of
I'm like-
Pinocchio. You wish upon a star. Here comes the blue fairy with a goatee.
I was like, what are you? He goes, I'm a fairy godmother. I'm like, dude, you're not even close. I mean, he had a full-grown beard. I thought that just shocked me. But you know, the sad thing about it is a lot of people are not patriotic anymore in this country. We went to Epcot, and we went to Centennial Land, back in the 1776,
Yeah.
which I love going to that, I always look for a communist to start a fight with, so the security and Walt Disney will come out and mess with me and harass me.
Is this where they have like the Hall of Presidents and stuff?
Yes,
too?
I was going to tell you, we went in the Hall of Presidents,
All
and
right.
that ride, there's no line, okay, and it runs like every hour and a half or 2 hours, okay, and it runs for about 30, 35 minutes, and it runs, it always has the current president talking, okay, and Abe Lincoln looks so real, it's pathetic, I'm ready to fire me up, a nice little uniform and go fight for old Abe there. but different presidents talk on there and everything. But the most current president, he starts to talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a 15-minute intermission. You know why? They had to change his damn diaper. How's the animatronic crap in his pants?
Well, you can rig that up.
They're keeping it real.
AI.
Well, let me tell you something. So we went to the next hour and a half show. We waited an hour and a half for the next one. So we left, okay? We get back to it again, and what happened? Oh, Joe's up there talking about corn pop and everything else, and then he takes another crap.
Yep, I mean, that sounds, at least they're getting it accurate, you know?
Intervention.
Right, I mean, it's an accurate.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Right.
Well,
And he
evidently he was bad enough to have a 15-minute intermission that I had to go back and buy some more centennial gifts, some gifts. So,
Well, they roped you into it. Did you and the lady ride Space Mountain together?
No.
I got hairy legs.
How much
Sorry.
did those?
I got to stay out of Space Mountain, first of all. I'm 6'5", and I feel like I can get decapitated. One time I went on it, I was like, oh, hell no.
How much did
Had my head
those
down all the time.
Centennial beers cost down at Disney now?
Oof. I would say
how
about
much are they?
$12 at least.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you a question. I won't say it, but I called 3-4 times to my councilman about a city code issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're never, I guess it's a part-time gig for them or something. They're never down at the city hall except for maybe something else, So I called and left them my name and my number 4 times. Called 4 times. And guess what I've got back? Nothing.
Crickets?
Crickets.
Who's your city councilman?
I won't say.
Okay.
Let's put it this way. I live at, where...
He's listening, or she is listening.
Well, you know where Ida Bell Young Church is?
No.
Off of Vaughn?
I don't.
I do.
You know Ida Bell Young. It's right across from the Alabama Shakespeare Festival.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's my area right there. So, but has not returned my call 3 times. I've left messages.
Well, why don't you go
phone
sign up before noon on Monday to be like, I got to get this question answered, and just go talk in front of the council.
Well, here's the thing about it is, okay, I got to take time off of my clock. I have to take PTO because I work for a living,
right?
Unlike a lot of people in Montgomery, and I have to take PTO time, and I can't. My company that I work for, I won't say, but they instead of working, they finally went down where you could take a down to 4 hours as a minimum. Okay.
Yep.
It used to be where you had to take a whole 8 hours, a whole day. You just take care of maybe an hour at the doctor's. But now it's down to 4 hours. So I got to take 4 hours of my pay time to go down there to talk to them about not answering the phone and returning my call. I tell you one thing. Whoever mentioned about term limits, right on. Can we get rid of council people?
Yeah, next election, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Remember, it
Let me
ain't for
tell you
us,
something.
it's for them, man.
Well, the sad thing about it is they must know how we vote, because and those who do vote, because I asked the person one time who took care of the campaigning, and I said, did you get one of these in your mailbox? He goes, no, but I don't vote either. I said, what do you mean? He says, well, if they go and there's a register and they can pull a public record, not who you voted for, but that you did vote, and they don't want to send a flyer to somebody who's not going to vote anyway, or hasn't voted in 4 or 5 years. And I vote every year. So I got one every dang time. I got one from Brubaker every other day.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
God. And sorry, Mr. Brubaker, I didn't vote for you either. But thanks for filling up my mailbox, and starting kindling for my fireplace. I appreciate that. But the person, my city council person, individual, sent me one like every 3 or 4 or 5 days one. And I was like, and I was cleaning the house up the other day, and guess what I find under the couch? One of his flyers. I'm like, oh, God.
Seems like you have a
I mean-
passive-aggressive relationship with politicians.
Oh, no, I love some politicians.
Did you beat up the Joe Biden animatronic figure?
No, I did not think about that. I mean, it was an intermission. What do you do for 15 minutes?
Change your diaper?
Yeah, you think about how long
Well,
it takes to
that's what
change
they
a
did.
baby's diaper.
Yeah.
Now a
Well,
full-grown man.
adult. Yeah.
And you know how patriotic it is. You go in there. There's never a line there. There's never a line there, people. You walk in there, and there's maybe no more than 10 people, and maybe half of them are from China or Japan. And you're looking, you're like, nobody cares.
Right.
Nobody cares about our history. There's no patriotism anymore. I mean, you just look at it, and it's one of the best, most interesting things to see in Walt Disney's the Hall of Presidents.
It's why I've been saying for several weeks now, especially after the trip to Boston, Americans aren't going to feel proud till we get our tea wet again.
They had to close the doors and drag me out when Mr. Trump was in office when he was speaking. I was like, yeah.
No, you needed your own 15-minute intermission, but not for the. Hey, appreciate it, Soldier Boy.
Not for diaper man.
Yeah, take a cold shower. Thank you.
See you, homie.
2729228. Line 3. Hey, you're on there. Who's this?
Oh, wait. I'm going to come back. Hey, Red Top.
Hey, Red Top.
Hey, Red Top.
Now, I would like to say a little bit about immigration.
Yeah.
I was watching two news sources, Newsmax and NTD, about how the European court is giving Britain hell for sending those people back to Rwanda. And they're going to say they're going to bring charges against them. And this is all in line with what's called the Great Agreement, which was they didn't call it a treaty, but they just called it the Great Agreement so they could get away with this. All these Western countries that have signed up to take immigrants. America's one of them. And, you keep wondering why they keep coming and coming and coming. Well, because the UN and all the NGOs are getting paid to do it. And the Catholic Church, did you hear about the Annunciation House in Texas? They're being sued by the Attorney General of Texas for bringing and basically farming for illegals outside the country and bringing them in and setting them free. So,
yeah, Catholic Social Services has been known to do that. They take the whole sanctuary thing pretty seriously.
Yeah, I know.
That and some of them might be Jesuits, and don't get me started.
But, yeah, I agree with you about the Jesuits. We know they got a long history.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first modern CIA. And they weren't messing around either, were they, Joe? So, we got to get out of this agreement. And Donald Trump actually did not enforce it when he was president. But it was starting to happen during Obama's administration. So Britain's thinking about, Britain is going to leave the European court. They're saying, screw you, we're going to send the immigrants back, live with it, because they're getting tired of it. And also law enforcement, you know what? When law enforcement lost all those people, the damn marijuana laws, and they're in the same boat. All the people that are killing each other that I see on TV are all black.
Mm-hmm.
It's a culture problem. Montgomery's not gone to a hell in a handbasket. It's the 15 to 30-year-old blacks that are all out killing each other. It's a terrible reflection on our city, and I thought the Alabama law enforcement would solve all those problems. Isn't that what they told us, guys?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Roll Tide, go Trump. Thank you.
Thanks for the speech. Appreciate the speech.
I learned something new already today.
Oh, yeah?
Jesuits were the original CIA.
Yeah.
Who knew it?
That wasn't what I was talking about. But, hey, let's hit this break. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going. But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Montgomery, I just have one question. What kind of car are you shopping for? If you want new Toyotas, pre-owned vehicles, and our best customer service and prices, it's all here at Toyota of Montgomery. No matter what you're looking for, the selection of new Toyotas are huge. Shop every model in every trim. Camry, Corolla, Tundra, Highlander. Plus, get an exceptional value with our certified pre-owned vehicles. They'll look, drive, and even smell brand new. The only difference is they cost thousands less. So what car are you shopping for? Chances are you can get it and save big on it at Toyota of Montgomery, because it's all here. Big selection, great values, and exceptional customer service. Hurry to Toyota of Montgomery on East Boulevard, exit 6 off 85, part of the Sutherland Automotive Group, online at toyotaofmontgomery.com.
Honey, did you call an electrician to put in that new bathroom outlet?
No, I thought I'd just get Cousin Ray.
He's not a real electrician.
Oh, Ray's handy. He can do anything.
Being handy and being an electrician are two different things. Electricity is complicated and potentially dangerous. Each year there are thousands of home fires caused by faulty wiring. You need an expert. To wear the Crosby Electric uniform, you have to undergo background checks, drug testing, continuing education, and rigorous safety training. When you need electrical work, or if you just like someone to assess your home for safety, call the experts at Crosby Electric.
So, how about that nice outlet Ray installed in the bathroom?
Do you think it's safe?
It's fine. See, when I plug in my electric razor, it...
Now the lights are out. I am not sleeping a wink until you get Crosby Electric out here.
Don't take chances with electricity. Call the experts at Crosby Electric, 272-2085, or visit us at crosbyelectric.com.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health...
Break it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
I like what I like, and I do what I want.
Do what you want. Be who you want. And elevate your game to fabulous at Wind Creek Atmore. Stay in our luxurious suites and rooms. Relax in the tranquil spa. Play any of our 1,700 exciting games on our spacious gaming floor. No matter what fabulous means to you, you'll find it here. Wind Creek Atmore. It's your kind of fabulous. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon, or as we call the show online, Joey Clark Live. If you want to watch the show or just listen this way, having your phone carrying the show, just go to Joey Clark Live on YouTube or at the Joey Clark on the X Twitter platform. Both Eddie Bader and Byron Sheehy here in the studio. Eddie's wearing the Campbell for mayor, man.
Yeah.
2019 did.
I know.
It's amazing that's 5 years ago.
That's what shocked me today when I put the shirt on after I realized I fit in it. I looked at the date. It's like, man, it's been that long.
It's been 5 years since I took over the show.
Yeah.
5 years in September 2019. Then the pandemic created this time warp effect.
You got this little white hair here.
Yeah.
And then it's going to do this.
Oh, yeah, it's coming in. I got some on the top of my head, too.
That's the gray hair I get is this patch right here on my chin, to the fact my wife starts calling me
Like
patches.
a billy goat?
Pretty much, yeah.
Billy Goat Bader.
Wouldn't go quite there, but...
Yeah, Billy Goat Bader's on the scene again. He's chewing on everything.
I'm a little
Carpets,
hard-headed at
couch.
times.
I'm not messing with a guy named Billy Goat.
Right. Right, exactly.
Actually, at Appleton Wire, we used to have a guy we called
yeah.
Billy Goat, and that's because he literally picked up some goats on a flea market, on the way to a 12-hour shift. So he worked all night at Appleton Wire. When he came out the next morning, his little Toyota, those goats had eaten and peed and pooped everything in that Toyota.
Is this the same guy who gave you an aversion of that sandwich I ate on?
Pimento cheese sandwiches. Yeah, he'd pull his teeth out and start eating them sandwiches, and that just kind of goes.
See, I like pimento cheese, but hearing that story...
you see why it kind of gives me the grossy gross?
I kind of want to meet this guy.
Billy Goat? Oh, he's a legend. The stories I can tell you off air are amazing.
Billy Goat.
Yeah.
But you should just grow out this little thing right here.
I really, honestly,
on the bottom of the chin, your chinny chin.
Shave one time we were in Jamaica the whole 7 days, so I actually could see this.
Mhm.
And yeah, I didn't appreciate it. Byron's looks very good. He looks mature. Me,
I don't want to look mature.
Yeah,
I want to look young.
Oh,
I want to feel young.
oh, my bad.
Yeah, good,
My bad.
good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Because we're all getting older.
In a hurry.
You know, I've always wanted to be older, but now I said this
Now that
earlier.
you're there, though.
No, this is kind of feels like the age I always wanted to be. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I wanted to be older until I got old. Then I was like, man, I'm just grabbing at my youth constantly. But I know a friend of mine that he always wanted a family, and then he married a wife with 3 kids. And he said, you know what? I was wrong the whole time. I was so wrong.
Wait, are you one of those guys when the song Glory Days comes on that you like crack open a beer?
Oh, I'll turn it up in a minute, man.
He's like Vince Vaughn in Wedding Crashers. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Right.
Run.
Now, in a way, Eddie, you strike me as a guy who, like Eastbound and Down.
Yeah.
The Kenny Powers. Like,
love
I
me
feel
some
like
Kenny
you're
Powers.
right in that
I have my
substream.
Kenny Power moments. Believe you me. Yes, I have my Kenny Power moments.
Like, especially, do you got a jet ski?
Yes, Joey.
And you do not touch it.
Right.
Do not touch Eddie's jet ski.
Billy Goat Bader ain't playing.
Sad story. Let me tell you. Oh God, this is embarrassing. So years ago, when I don't know how many jet skis I had a Navy. My son and I were riding. He was on the back, and we had just wiped out. And my shorts, little did I know, had split from top of my butt all the way down.
Oh, nice.
So Justin got a ride. He had to ride behind me in the back seat all the way back. And we were like 15 minutes from.
Like, did you have underwear on?
Nothing, man. Nothing but cheeks flapping.
Nothing but
Oh
no!
Poor kid.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't hurt yourself.
I'm surprised he didn't just jump off and take his life jacket off.
No, seriously, having literally no pants on a jet ski, that's the easy way to rack yourself. It's like, be careful doing that.
You got to be secure in yourself.
Yeah. Watch out for the wake up.
Well, on top of that, I wasn't nice enough just to sit down and ride. I chose to stand up and ride the whole way back.
That's just cruel.
It's horrible.
I can't believe he grew up as well adjusted as he is.
Well, those adjustments, they came with hurt along the way. There was some pain involved.
This is part of the program. I guess I'm sorry. Brought to you by Dylan Rings. But of course, Jocelyn Leslie Ryder there at Dylan Rings. Just fantastic folks. Easy to work with.
Oh, yeah.
They are a full-service jewelry shop there at Dylan Rings. That means they can do things like appraisals or repairs, including watch repairs. They have an amazing selection from high-end jewelry items to the everyday jewelry that still looks great but isn't going to break the bank or break your heart if you lose it on a hiking trip or at the beach or something. And right now I'm looking at their Instagram page.
Okay.
Just search Dylan Rings on Instagram, DYLAN Rings. And I'm looking at a necklace. They say that we created this necklace for an 80-year-old client who killed this alligator in her yard in Otagoville with her pocket pistol. Granny's got a gun.
Yes, she does.
She wanted a necklace made to remember her victorious battle over the beast. Since custom jewelry normally has a story to tell, what is your story is what they're wondering there at Dylan Rings. And I'm looking at this, and it's just alligator teeth strung together. It's almost like it reminds me of like they almost look like bullets with the casing there in the bottom. It's gold, I believe. Wow, that's a necklace. That's a story.
That residence has been crime free for at least 3 decades.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for the game.
So this is why I keep saying, if you can dream it, Josh Ryder can make it a reality. Even if it's like, Granny killed this gator, and we need you to make a necklace out of its teeth. He can make it happen. So y'all check out Dylan Rings today. Of course, you can always go to DylanRings.com, search for him on Instagram or the Book of Faces. But I really encourage you to stop by at 119 Brown Springs Road, right here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie that Joey and the gang on the radio sent you.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average pushed above 40,000 points for the first time, but has retreated slightly. The market had rallied a day earlier following a report showing that inflation was cooling. The Trump criminal trial has resumed in New York. Mr. Trump's former attorney, Michael Cohen, continues on the witness stand. Police have dismantled a pro-Palestinian encampment early today at DePaul University in Chicago. This comes hours after the school's president told students to leave the area or face arrest. The Slovak authorities have charged a man with attempting to assassinate Prime Minister Robert Fico. Fico remains in very serious condition after being shot. On Wall Street, the Dow had 46 points. The Nasdaq is now down 10. This is SRN News.
Biden has started tracking Christians like cattle. Yes, you heard it right. He pressured banks to tag transactions for certain keywords. One of them is Holy Bible. That's a horrifying and creepy attack on our religious freedoms. It's made possible by a digital financial system that makes you a sitting duck. But you do have other options. I recommend a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. I'm Lance Wallnau, a news analyst, a best-selling author, and evangelical leader to people who cherish their financial independence. A precious metals IRA can help you avoid the scrutiny of Biden's anti-Christian bureaucracy while also preserving your retirement savings. To find out more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word FAITH to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see how a gold IRA can help you. Text FAITH to 989898. There are no strings attached. So text FAITH to the number 989898 right now and take action to protect your own prosperity.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
More weather changes ahead with a storm system approaching, but we've got another quiet, dry, warm day today. High around 88, good bit of sunshine. Clouds will be increasing later on, but we're dry through the evening hours tonight if you have plans, and the risk of scattered showers and thunderstorms holding off to the wee hours of Friday morning. Low 69. Tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms become likely, especially in the afternoon and evening hours when some storms could be strong, possibly severe. Locally heavy rainfall, high 84. More scattered showers and storms on Saturday, back to sunshine Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. The Z700 series is the star of Kubota's line of zero-turn mowers, and our special spring pricing makes it easier than ever to take one home today. Powering Alabama, Kubota and Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. Montgomery manufacturer Genpack held a celebration Wednesday to unveil a $22 million plant upgrade. This means more jobs as Genpack will fill 155 new positions at the plant, as well as retaining 145 people. Genpack produces containers and tableware for restaurants and retail stores. Former Alabama football coach Nick Saban said a pro-union advertisement that features his past comments was done without his permission. The ad is airing as more than 5,000 Mercedes workers in Alabama vote this week on whether to join the United Auto Workers. Saban said he does not endorse the UAW or its campaign. Montgomery's Sidney Lanier High School held a commencement ceremony for its final graduating class. Yesterday, on May 15th, the school, lovingly referred to as the Castle by students, first opened its doors in 1929 and is now preparing to close those doors forever on May 24th, the end of the Sidney Lanier Poets era. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon, or as we're calling this thing online, Joey Clark Live. And, well, Eddie hasn't left, but he had to scoot on over, wearing that handsome shirt of his, because in the studio here, we have Jason with Wholesale Hunter. How you doing, sir? How you doing?
I'm doing great, Joey. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys this afternoon.
Yeah, great to have you on the show. And, man, we got talking off mic a great deal there. And I always feel like a fish out of water. I still haven't, taught myself anything or purchased any. I need to. I'll begin there. What should I begin with if I want to get into firearms?
I always recommend personal protection first.
Okay, personal protection. So just like a shotgun? No, or something I could actually carry around with me?
Well, if you're Joe Biden, that's all you need.
Yeah, just get a shotgun and shoot him in the leg.
There you go.
Right. But, yeah, just personal protection.
Yeah, personal protection. We carry a lot of pistols and revolvers. If you're more comfortable with a revolver, there's a lot of them out there right now. They're simple to use.
That's what I've shot the most before.
And they function perfectly. And we have a lot of semi-autos out there. Everything from full size, you can carry 21 plus rounds in it, or you can have a subcompact carry that carries 6 rounds.
Well, and how's the stock right now? Like the types of different weapons, ammunition, where is it at right these days?
Right now, the stock is pretty high in the market. There's a lot of manufacturer rebates going on right now.
Okay.
I know FN has a good rebate going on. Beretta has a good rebate. Savage. There's a lot of manufacturer rebates, and normally that's a sign that the market is pretty heavily occupied right now.
Now, I'd imagine there aren't too many in the listening audience who don't know about Wholesale Hunter, but if they haven't, maybe they're new to the area. Let's give them the 101.
Absolutely. We're a sporting good gun shop located in Wetumpka. We're at the corner of Fire Tower Road and Highway 14. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. But we have a website, wholesalehunter.com. You can order there 24 hours a day. And if you find a gun on there that you want to order, just order it and we'll have it ready for you in the shop for pickup.
Wow. And y'all are one of the biggest online retailers, right, in this space?
Absolutely, yeah. We do business with all the main wholesalers out there. Everyone at Who Supplies Academy, Bass Pro Shops, Walmart's, Dick's Sporting Goods, you name it, we buy from the same suppliers.
So if I just want to go get, say, a camping setup, I want to get back into camping or something, I can go buy Wholesale Hunter.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We can get you set up, everything you need from tents, sleeping gear, cooking equipment.
Tannerite?
Tannerite?
If that's your preferred method to get rid of mosquitoes.
Sure,
That's
yeah.
mine.
Sounds like a fun way.
And stumps.
This guy, Byron here, looks like a kid on Christmas talking to you, Jason.
Yeah, dude, I grew up in the country. Like, blowing stuff up's like a pastime to me.
That's how you learn science.
Yeah, and know how to stay, or how far to stay away from things.
And so you have also like a coupon code people can put in?
Absolutely. Just for this occasion, we have a special coupon code. It is Joey, Joey, and that will get you 5% off everything on our website.
5% off everything?
Everything. No matter what it is, you get 5% off.
Byron gets you 10% off?
No. Don't push your luck. No, but I think this is a great idea to check out Wholesale. Like, again, I find anybody who's outdoors and an outdoorsman or as a hunter out there probably already knows about Wholesale Hunter, but it's good to get the word out.
It is good. And we're always welcoming the community to come out and talk to us. Even if you're not looking to buy right now, just come in the shop. We'll talk to you. And if it's nothing else, you just want to have a conversation about guns or fishing or camping, we'll talk to you. We're always up for a good conversation. And if you're new to sporting goods at all, hunting, fishing, camping, and you're not quite sure what you want, come out and talk to us. We will help you out and get you situated into something you're comfortable with.
Well, and I'd imagine there are some folks out there that might be like me. I don't have a son yet or a child at all. But I grew up and my dad did his due diligence. Like, let's go fishing, let's go hunting a little bit. And so I would have to relearn, but I would definitely want to say take the kid fishing and have all the goods ready to go.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you're looking to take your child out or your grandchild out and you're not quite sure what you need, come by. Or if you know what you're looking for, maybe we have it for you.
So well, there you go. Now, I was thinking I'd get like a .357 revolver.
That's good. You got to go with a longer barrel though, because a .357 and a short barrel, you're just doing a lot of fireball.
Okay.
And not much.
Well, my buddy had one that could also throw out .38s,
Yeah, most 357s you can shoot 38s out of them.
Yeah, I found that with the 357 round, it kicked like a mule, but the 38, it's like, oh, it's a heavy gun. It didn't seem all that bad.
Oh yeah, with 38s, I mean, they were popular at the turn of the 1900s all the way up to the 70s and 80s before semi-automatics became the go-to.
You'd probably like the Judge.
The Judge, I know about the Judge. Yeah, the Judge would be, I think that's overkill for me though. Just a little. Well, I got down the rabbit hole because somebody on Twitter was like, what's your like ideal gun if you had no money was a concern? And I got down the rabbit hole of integrally suppressed rifles, like built in.
Yeah.
That's special.
Yeah. We sell those too.
Okay, you got those there.
We've got those. We sell suppressors. We have the internally suppressed rifles as well. We even do some law enforcement contracts. So if there are any law enforcement out there looking for special guns, just let us know.
If I have a new lady friend who's not used to using firearms, y'all do any sort of training or anything like that?
We don't do training ourselves, but we do partner with several ranges around here and
awesome.
Other organizations that will get the right training for them.
Thank you.
Yeah, folks, you go in there, buy, and there's a lot to buy. Go to the website, wholesalehunter.com. You can see there is a lot to offer there, but it sounds like you can just stop by Fire Tower Road there, and you can get a lot of great advice, too, along with great product.
Oh, yeah, we love to talk to people. You can give us a call, too. Our number is 1-888-900-4868, and we'll talk to you on the phone as long as you want to talk.
There you go. Well, have we missed anything? Have we left anything out here?
No, I greatly appreciate the opportunity to be out here and speak to everybody, and I encourage people to come by and talk to us.
And again, folks, if you use the coupon code Joey on the website, JOEY, you'll get 5% off anything on the site.
Yep. Anything. You can buy something as small as a $2 fishing lure, or we sell $10,000 night vision goggles. So coupons across the board.
Well, great seeing you, man. Really is. And appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you, guys.
More news and views after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group. Selling a home in the river region in this market takes some planning and preparation to be successful. Here are some steps to take to get your home sold fast. Remember the 5 Ps. Prepare the home, fresh coat of paint inside and out, and complete any repairs needed. Professionally clean the home. A deep cleaning of floors, cabinets, windows, and blinds will leave a great impression for future buyers. Provide a home warranty for the buyer to give the buyer peace of mind after the closing. Provide a closing cost allowance for the buyer to help them be able to afford your home. Price your home to sell, not sit. A comparative market analysis from a local realtor will demonstrate what other properties have sold for in your neighborhood. Well-priced homes sell faster with less hassle. Houses are selling fast and sellers are getting top dollar. For all the answers, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Get Memorial Day savings all month at Lexus of Montgomery. New Lexus IS 300, only $463 a month. Like the new ES 350, now just $535 a month. Luxury doesn't have to be out of your budget. And with Memorial Day savings all month, there's never been a better time to drive a new Lexus. Memorial Day savings ends soon, so rush to Lexus of Montgomery, part of the Sutherland Automotive Group. VIN number RU 2014-57-3999 to its 95,000-mile lease. VIN number R513-0706-4527 to its 10,000-mile lease with 36 months with approved credit plus tax, tag, title, doc fee. Expires 6/4/24.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. And, well, to next. Where to next? Like, my mind, it's always the context shifting, gentlemen, that gets me. It's like I started looking at the guns here on Wholesale Hunter's website.
Bro, I'm ADHD. It's up to you to drive the train.
Fair enough. No, actually, you brought up something off air I want to dig into if you're willing.
Sure.
About what you were just telling me about super PACs.
Yeah. So one of the things that I did last night while I couldn't sleep was, for some reason, I went down the rabbit hole of Open Secrets and looked at the foreign entities, or the super PACs that were associated with foreign entities.
Okay.
And the little ticker at the bottom had 208. So whenever we're talking about influencing our elections, you know, I guess we should be a little less hypocritical about where and who's influencing our elections.
And I'd imagine it's countries from all over the world, right? That each have their own backers. And
I actually saw a parent holding company of a Chinese company that was able to make a contribution.
Chinese company. Wow.
$300 to a Republican.
Wow.
Yeah, because, I mean, in the news has been a lot of, like, AIPAC, obviously, is Israel, and that's foreign. But I imagine the Saudis have a bunch of money flowing around here, the Chinese. I know, isn't it Azerbaijan who has a pretty good lobby up there in D.C.? Yeah, it's interesting who actually is spending all the money there in K Street.
Well, I mean, I asked you off the other day about Bitcoin. You know, like, to me, Bitcoin in theory sounds great, but if you're not going to regulate it, then it's really problematic from the campaign standpoint.
Well, the FBI has gotten pretty sophisticated on, the Bitcoin network is open and transparent. And even if you try to mask yourself behind different accounts and addresses on that ledger,
they can find you.
They can find you. Yeah. So, and they've gotten pretty sophisticated. So, if you're trying to move a huge amount of money and do a really illegal thing with it, I think you still got issues.
Are all coins, you know, kind of bat the same way?
All cryptocurrencies?
Stat-wise?
No. They all have different underlying. Like Bitcoin is proof of work, which is essentially you have to prove that you did the work to solve a particular very complicated math problem. Essentially, it's a random number generator. You have to have a particular number that solves a problem, and you get rewarded the block. That's why Bitcoin is mining, creates all this usage of power. And I think it's a genius way of creating essentially property in the virtual world. Like you literally had to use energy.
Property in the virtual world.
Yes, like actual property. Because before we could send photos to each other and you could duplicate that photo a billion times if you wanted. You can't do that with a Bitcoin because in order to create a Bitcoin, you have to do all that work.
Right.
Now, there are others that are things like proof of stake. There are different ways people try to secure, say, a ledger or a cryptocurrency network.
What about some of these weird non-fungible tokens that are, you know, set up around some Korean pop star, you know, like some weird random thing like that?
Yeah, that's more you're relying on the actual person. Like I would put that along with, you know, people have VIP like fan clubs, for instance. I put those coins kind of in the same boat. It's more about you're trusting like that particular person. So in that case, yeah, I would be careful with all of that stuff. Very careful indeed. And I think it's all got a place. These technologies, blockchain underlying all these is pretty fascinating. And there are a lot of different use cases. For instance, if you did want to have a contract that lasted for hundreds of years and you want it notarized where anybody could see it, you could, if you want to pay for it, put it on the Bitcoin network.
Is blockchain not the solution to our election
I thought it was,
issues?
But I don't understand what the holdup has been with blockchain.
It's a huge threat to the current, you know, that Meta data center that we literally Meta's data center.
Yeah.
Like that, blockchain is a threat to the big data movement.
Good.
It really is.
Okay.
Yeah, suddenly I like it a little bit more.
Absolutely. It's essentially you could not just share value, you could share information in a way that is discreet and isn't like, think about all the attacks you have right now on the internet, how much you're exposed when you put your information out there. With blockchain, you could change it up. And there are some people I'm getting out of my depth. There are people much smarter than I that are trying to work on almost a new backbone to the internet that's more blockchain secured, which would make it secured from all sorts of hacking, all sorts of problems. and it would give a lot more power to the individual or to private institutions. But that's way down the road. And the reason some of it hasn't sped up is governments do not like it.
No, that's what I've always understood. That
Right.
Yeah.
Well, when was it? Maybe a decade ago, Venezuela collapsed, and the only thing that they could trade was Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, or they had even like sheets of gold and silver that were perforated,
Sheets.
so you could hand them out, and people, crazy. This is why I think Javier Milei, the anarcho-capitalist, is now president of Argentina, because they're experiencing similar problems. And that's where a lot of adoption is going to continue to come online, is in Latin America, in places, say, in the Middle East, like Lebanon, whose currency's been completely destroyed, or say in Africa, if you want to make inroads around the bureaucracies out there, if you need a cell signal and electricity, and you can start being your own bank, essentially,
We
and doing
can
business.
bypass corrupt governments.
That'd be great.
There's a thought.
And with Bitcoin, it made me think of something I found the other night. Do you know, in Cuba, when they woke up, I think it was Tuesday morning, if you had a bank account in Cuba, you had no money in it.
Right. Oh, yeah.
$0.
Well, and the big story has been, if you're a nation, say, called Russia, and you have all your money parked in different, foreign holdings all over the world, all of a sudden it's frozen and now stolen and given to your enemy in a war. I'm sure Russia doesn't like that, but, you invaded. Tough luck. But there are a lot of other folks who are tied into that system going, wait, the U.S. can do that, and they're willing to do that? It undermines trust. This is what I mean. Like, it really does undermine trust in, like, do I actually have a secured property right in this thing, or I'm just beholden to this overlord network?
Well, from a simpleton's point of view, say tomorrow you woke up with no money in your bank, but you got bills due.
Right.
The bank, they don't care. Your mortgage company doesn't care. They just want cold, hard cash. By the time you could get this, repaired or fixed or whatever, chances are you no longer have a house. You no longer have employment. It's a quick way to ruin somebody.
Absolutely. Or
Especially
think about
when they're living on the margins.
The truckers there in Canada.
That's always bugged me.
And they were trying to go
Can't
after
get over it.
cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in particular. They couldn't. They couldn't figure out how to shut them down. But a regular bank account, you're
No
done.
problem.
How dare you
It's literally a
protest
click.
against us?
It's literally a click.
That place is going bonkers. They had some law that would retroactively apply. So if you said anything online that was hateful, that violates hate speech codes in Canada, in, say, the last 10, 15 years, you're in trouble, mister.
Can I just say I hate Canada? Does that count as hate speech?
Right
The
now,
guys in
man,
South Park better be careful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, TMP.
Yeah, but it's like it's crazy where that place is going. And to see, okay, you expect China to be authoritarian. You expect Russia to be authoritarian. Singapore does similar things too. So do a lot of the Muslim countries in the world.
Not America's top head.
But when
Not
you think
Canada.
of Canada, you're like, what in the... And it's almost, it's unseemly in the sense that they're so polite. Oh, we believe in everything, like a freedom and all this stuff. And they're just restricting.
So many Canadians that I know, they don't feel this way. It reminds me, it's a mirror of what we're going through in the United States. So many conservatives are like, we are living in bizarro land.
Right.
And feel there's no way to change it. You just feel trapped.
I've been sitting on the story a while. Just read the big summary here. A Yazidi woman wrote a book about being raped and tortured and having her family murdered by ISIS. But her book event was canceled in Canada because organizers felt her story could promote Islamophobia.
Mm-hmm. So you see who won.
That's crazy. But back to what started all this conversation, Byron. Look at FTX, what Sam Bankman-Fried did, and all these other... He was essentially creating his own tokens, money out of thin air, and was able to then use that as collateral to get even more money.
Sure.
And it just was about to crash. But I think when he got this thing really blown up, the balloon blown up, you better believe there was a lot of political money laundering going on in that cycle.
Ton of it.
In 2022, especially. 2020 as well, but 2022, there was a lot of political money flowing through those crypto exchanges.
I think we covered some of that under the AppBlue stuff with the previous organization I was with.
Right. Yeah, and it was both sides ended up benefiting.
Yeah, but it was overwhelmingly one side versus the other.
True, I agree. But
I think it was about 75-25.
Right. So, but it shows like, yeah, politicians are always looking for a way to find a dark channel to funnel money through. And while they accuse you of any technology that challenges them, you're just going to do this for dirty things. It's like, oh, give me a break. Stop projecting. Stop it. 272-9228. Hey, this part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. And they're at Cole Plumbing. They're ready to help you with all your plumbing needs. It could be you have a simple problem like a clogged drain or low water pressure. Maybe you're thinking, what's going on? They might find it's a tree root invasion. Or it could be you have a gas line leak. They can repair that at Cole Plumbing. Or maybe your sump pump in the basement ain't actually pumping water out when it floods. That's a big problem.
Good at all.
And of course, they can also help you with a big leak. So you have a leak inside or outside your home. They can solve the problem with this proprietary pipeline technology that doesn't require them to tear out a bunch of drywall, dig up a huge hole in the yard with precision and expertise. They can pinpoint it, solve that problem. Or maybe your problem isn't like a problem per se. It's more you want to upgrade. You want nicer things. So maybe a tankless water heater system or a bidet or a taller toilet if your knees are giving out on
Popping?
you.
Yeah, they do, Joey. They pop.
Like, you don't want it to be a chore to have to do your business whenever you're doing it, you know?
Can I set my temperature on my bidet?
Yes, you can.
There are fancy ones like that, and Cole Plumbing can help install it for you.
Good, because I can't.
So y'all check out Cole Plumbing today. You can always go to coleplumbing.com or give them a call at 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
Let's go to James on line one. Hey, James, how you doing?
Joey, money out of thin air.
Yep.
Sounds like the Federal Reserve note.
Yes, it does.
Oh. So since they are listening, viva the Canucks! I mean, you guys, I mean, you cover so many topics. I would like to be like sitting there, so I'd say, hey, let me jump in right here.
All right.
It's okay, man. I mean, I've forgotten about 15 or 20 of them already. Okay.
Just pick one.
Night vision. There's one.
Okay.
You know what a lot of people around here do in night vision? When I say around here, I'm talking River Region, Chilton County. You know what they do in night vision, Joey?
What do they do?
It's not a secret club, although it may be a secret club. They go out and hunt wild boar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wild boar are an issue here in, or wild hogs, period. They don't necessarily have to be boar.
Right.
Okay? Are you going out and hunting wild boar with your night vision goggles, Joey?
I have not been, and I've not even promised people I'm doing that.
I can see you out in the woods running wild boar with night vision goggles.
I think he should start with snipe. We should start snipe hunting with Joey first.
Snipe hunting?
Yeah, and then work our
Joey,
way
have
up
you
to
ever
hogs.
been snipe hunting?
No.
Eddie and I will take you, but only for a fee. Right, Eddie?
That's right.
I mean, we're not
I need
taking
beer
you
money.
and $50 a snipe, Joey.
That's
pretty
good
good.
money. That's good money.
I'm thinking, no.
I got 20.
You don't want to go, Joey?
Well, my instinct's saying don't do that, Joey.
You know, Joey,
Where's your
should
sense
we
of
tell him
adventure?
that
No.
he's smarter than he looks, right?
No. All these things must be found out the hard way.
I had a song I wanted to sing to you, Joey, but I'm sure somebody else would rather talk.
Well, I appreciate it.
Unless you want me to sing the song, Joey. Now, I'm not
No,
above
it's-
singing on the radio,
It's
okay?
just sometimes, James, your calls, it feels like I'm meeting the Lorax or something.
You don't want to hear me sing.
No.
No?
Not over this phone. Like, if you
No,
want
I
to
have
come down to the
headphones on.
studio and sing live, we'll do that.
Okay. All right. Well, have a nice day.
See you, James.
Thank you, sir. 272-9228. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, fellas. How y'all?
Randall.
Oh, man. Man, the thing about it is, though, on the Canada stuff is right here at our back door. I mean, Shaft is ready to be implemented. And team, I mean, they're already about to do it against businesses. And if you think they're going to...
Before you keep going, what is Shaz?
Shaft is sex, hate, alcohol, firearms, and tobacco. Any of that that you text, that you put on Facebook, that you promote, and that's either CBD. It don't matter if it's legal or not. That's going to be That's gonna be when they do the social scoring where we headed. This is going to be implemented through the whole thing.
And we've seen that on high-profile cases where people get debanked or their credit cards get shut off.
Yep.
By the way, real quick, based on a topic we were covering, the U.S. Senate just voted to overturn SEC rule preventing highly regulated financial firms from holding Bitcoin and crypto, which already some of the big banks were getting in on the ETF. So that's great to see the Senate, which is divided, and the House are both pushing this. The Biden administration says, this is why I went on that rant the other day, they're going to veto this legislation.
Yeah. And I just think, man, I know you've studied way more than I have, but I ain't going to try to say his name, but it's so hard for me not to picture that being the government. I mean, this feels so much like, hey, come in here, the water's warm. This is where we want y'all. I mean, it's just too, I don't know, man. It just feels too sweet, too easy. And I don't know, I don't know how far you had dug toward that man, or if he's even lately come out or said anything. I mean, or does he even speak at all? Is there a place where he might send a text out or something, or is he just pretty much been in the shadows from the jump?
You talking about the creator of, say, Bitcoin?
Yeah, Yoshimoto or whatever.
Or Satoshi Nakamoto? No, people still don't know who he is. I think the anonymity and walking away was kind of what made this thing take off. Yep. Though.
I agree with you.
Are you suggesting, say, that DARPA or the agency is behind Bitcoin and this creation?
I've heard those rumors.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I ain't saying. Yeah, I'm asking you. I don't know. I mean, because I know you went further than I have.
I mean, it might be that somebody within, high up within the halls of, say, research parts of the government did come up with it. But the way our government currently operates, they do not like the idea of a currency that is limited.
Right.
Literally, you cannot create more of it. They like being able to create a lot of money out of thin air.
Control.
The modern monetary theorists essentially say money has its value because we can tax you for it.
Mm-hmm.
You're required to pay taxes in it.
So are most Austrians in line with crypto?
There are a lot of them. There are a lot of Austrian economists that are still skeptical of Bitcoin and that it didn't come from a commodity.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a long,
but the labor is
wonky
essentially
conversation.
the commodity, though, right?
Say that again?
The labor is essentially the commodity.
Right, that's where I would argue it. And yeah, there are a lot of, say, Austrian economists that are love the idea of Bitcoin. It fits their models of how a monetary order should actually work.
Yeah, so long as they can't just turn on the Bitcoin printing press and spin us into oblivion.
Right.
All right. Other question is, because since there's, all right, that's, I know there's other brands that aren't limited, and say everybody got scared. Say they really caught the bug and the eyes are open, and they went. There's not enough gold and silver, I don't believe, to go around. Do you think there's enough of Bitcoin for people to, if they got scared and wanted to take their cash and get into something like that, and something that they can put in their hand? Do you think? I mean, is there enough room for everybody? I mean, I'm talking about bank wise. I'm talking about, I ain't talking about money that nobody's hiding. I'm talking about the money, people's money in general. How the stock market is. You know how much money is out there.
I think the short answer is yes.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll find something.
And that's on its limited basis now. Imagine if it really got accepted like it should.
Well, and so there are only going to be 21 million Bitcoins ever created.
Mm-hmm.
But number one, the difficulty keeps going up. So that's continues to be put off the final one.
Oh, okay.
And also, each Bitcoin is divisible, I believe, up to the 8th decimal point.
Okay.
So there it does allow for
breakdown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any chance that the closer we get to the 21 million that we never hit it? Like it just becomes, it's increasingly hard to get.
You would eventually get there, and then it would the miners would still operate based on essentially network fees, transaction fees. The way I've heard people, again, smarter than I talk about this, is that Bitcoin will probably become your backing standard, your main coin for final settlement, or to your point, Randall, somebody who just wants to hold value for the long term, like 5-10 years, if even longer maybe. But then everything else, like I think a lot of life wouldn't change in terms of use your credit card or use your tap thing or whatever. Right. Instead of it just being settled in dollars, it's probably settled in Bitcoin.
So Yeah, y'all looking good, brother. I love that shirt. I got one that's signed, man. So
That's awesome.
And yeah, and I got a couple of signed shirts from them. I actually got a picture of Jack holding it up. You know what? I think I brought it to you that night that Jack and we did your show that night.
I think I still got it. Yeah.
Everybody signed it, so okay.
I still got it.
Everybody signed it. All right, he signed. I got a different one. So
I threw out a lot when I moved. I made sure to keep that.
Oh. I love you. All right.
See you, Randall.
Later.
Love you, bro.
272-9228. Got to hit a quick break here. But first, as part of the program, brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And I'm actually, before we get into Montgomery Men's Health, looking at a headline here from The Conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And it says low testosterone in men associated with an early death.
Really?
Wow. Well, and folks, think about the symptoms of low T.
Like
Feeling tired all the time.
Foggy brain.
Yeah, like you just can't think
No
straight.
energy, yeah.
No motivation, no energy, no sex drive, which if you're a dude and that's going away, yeah, it's kind of like, what's going on with you, man?
Right.
You all right? Or maybe you're getting a loss of muscle mass and you're still working out. It could be you're just getting thick around the middle, and even though you're watching what you're eating. This could be a sign of low testosterone, just your whole system slowing down. And what's beautiful is Montgomery Men's Health was created to take care of guys who don't really like going to the doctor or hesitant like most men, but they're created to be discreet and help out you guys with low T problems or things like erectile dysfunction. So get in there today and ask about a consultation that will cost $99. It's a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for $99. Really, it's a quick blood draw.
Right.
And then they can kind of get the sense of what sort of treatment you might want if you do, in fact, have low T. And they have treatments there that can truly change lives at Montgomery Men's Health. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym. Brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. You usually even notice an increased sex drive.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
There's a lot right with it. So y'all call up Montgomery Men's Health today, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to montgomerymenshealth.com to book your appointment today.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Montgomery, I just have one question. What kind of car are you shopping for? If you want new Toyotas, pre-owned vehicles, and our best customer service and prices, it's all here at Toyota of Montgomery. No matter what you're looking for, the selection of new Toyotas are huge. Shop every model in every trim. Camry, Corolla, Tundra, Highlander. Plus, get an exceptional value with our certified pre-owned vehicles. They'll look, drive, and even smell brand new. The only difference is they cost thousands less. So what car are you shopping for? Chances are you can get it and save big on it at Toyota of Montgomery, because it's all here. Big selection, great values, and exceptional customer service. Hurry to Toyota of Montgomery on East Boulevard, exit 6 off 85, part of the Sutherland Automotive Group, online at toyotaofmontgomery.com.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Now you can add the power of digital advertising to the #1 reach of radio. Let Blue Water's 20 years of local advertising and marketing success show you how. Grow your business with a complete suite of digital solutions, combined with the reach of the most listened to radio group in the River region. Call us or go to BlueWaterBroadcasting.com to find out how we can increase your return on investment. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
More weather changes ahead with a storm system approaching, but we've got another quiet, dry, warm day today. High around 88, good bit of sunshine. Clouds will be increasing later on, but we're dry through the evening hours tonight if you have plans, and the risk of scattered showers and thunderstorms holding off to the wee hours of Friday morning. Low 69. Tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms become likely, especially in the afternoon and evening hours when some storms could be strong, possibly severe. Locally heavy rainfall. High 84. More scattered showers and storms on Saturday, back to sunshine Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
It's Hannah Grantham and Eddie Bader. We're your friendly real estate duo from Forest Meadows Homes and Land.
Are you thinking of selling your home, wondering when the right time is, or where even to begin?
That's where we come in. With our expertise, we guide you from start to finish to ensure a smooth transaction.
From market analysis, professional photography, helping negotiate the best deal for you, and so much more, we've got you covered. So if you're ready to list, give me, Eddie Bader, a call at 334-322-0662.
And me, Hannah Grantham, a call at 334-368-6358. And let us show you why our clients say we turn stressful into successful.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. We have Eddie Bader and Byron Sheehy here in the studio with us. And on the phone, we've got a longtime listener of the show, Josh. Hey, Josh, how you holding up, man?
Man, I'm alive and kicking.
Good.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. I was going to listen. I listened to. I know the wholesaler over there on Power Tower.
Yeah.
Them, they're good people. I'll let you know. I know this guy that owns the property about 15 minutes from downtown. That he might have a complete assortment of firearms, from guns to rifles, everything else. So. And he might be a good chef too. So one of these days, you want to come out and shoot these steel targets, whatnot, Joey, pick you out something you're comfortable with, and they'll give you a little due diligence before, investing in something.
Sure. Well, and the excuse I've always given is I didn't have the money, but now I'm doing all right, so I got to get down there.
We can start you off with a slingshot, work your way up.
I will whoop your ass.
Come on.
It's been a while since I threatened you with violence.
Come on.
And you're asking for a beating.
I got the shirt on today. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Get it on. But like I said, Joey, the offer is out there. I'm a little bit under the weather right now, but I'll be around. So I'll catch up with you and let you know.
Awesome, man. Yeah, just message me.
I will. All right, man.
Thank you, Josh.
Take care, Josh.
Let's go to Simpler Days. Hey, Simpler Days.
Hey. Well, they had the police memorial service last night, and I'll give you a guess who wasn't there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can remember the days of Mayor Farmer standing there, and you were ready to go out and just knock a wall down. He'd always give the speech about there's a fine blue line between civilized man and anarchy. But those days are gone because the mayor, he had other pressing issues. But to end on a positive note, they did unveil a new crime-fighting tool in the city of Montgomery. You know what that is?
What's that?
A therapy dog for police officers.
So is it like lick 'em or something?
Well, it makes them feel safe. If they've had a bad day, if they've had a bad experience, they can spend time with the therapy dog, and it will.
Well, I'll never knock dogs for being able to make people feel all right when they're going through something. That's always true, but
Do we spend money on that? Because they could just go by the pound. There's lots of dogs there that really enjoy being petted.
Right.
Those
Well,
dogs say
we don't have
thousands
a
of
we don't have
dollars.
a canine bite dog, and they had to be trained not to flinch when gunshots went off. But we do have a therapy dog now. There's a kinder, gentler department. Have a good day.
Thank you.
See you simpler days.
I feel like we need to draw a line somewhere between the administration and the boots on the ground.
Yep.
Because the guys who are signing up for $26,000 a year or whatever it is, they're not the problem.
No,
Right.
they're not the problem. It's the lack of them.
Right.
And the reason they're not signing up, and I think we all know that, is they don't feel like they have the support. When you have two separate police officers or police forces in town, one of them is doing wonderful, and the other one is sucking wind, you start to compare the two, but no one wants to do that because the comparison will show a very obvious answer.
yeah, and it's not getting better.
No, it's
That's
not.
the simple fact of things.
Not.
Well, some cities are getting more hirings. There
Yeah.
are some big cities that are effectively hiring more, like Philadelphia's example.
I wanted to ask Catherine in relation to maybe like Mississippi and Jackson and some of their larger cities, like how do we compare Alabama versus Mississippi or Alabama versus Louisiana? Is it something that we're experiencing nationwide? Is it just here in the South, or is it really just
I've got some relatives in law enforcement, and they all say it's nationwide, but nothing.
not like this?
Right.
Before we go back to the phones, as part of the program, in fact, the entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and her team, especially Madeline Cannon there at
She the
Alabama
best.
Home Mortgage.
She the best.
Good folks there.
Yeah.
And they'll actually sit down and get to know you,
Yep.
understand your goals in buying a home or refinancing your current home. And, right now, a refi can be a great idea financially for trying to unload debt off your back.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that credit card debt is really grinding you down. Apparently, Peter St. Onge talking about in his video this morning that Gen Z, millennials got it bad, but Gen Z has it even worse.
Oh, imagine.
With the amount of credit card debt they're sitting under. And when you're looking at APRs at the lowest that are 24%, which Peter characterized as like just a little bit fairer than the mafia. You probably might have an issue on your hands. And so if it's whether it's you or maybe a family member you're looking to help out, if you have equity built up in your home, it can be a great way to consolidate debt, get it off your back, or maybe you want to reinvest in your property, or you want to invest, say, in a rental. There's all sorts of ways you can make that money work for you. And of course, if you're looking to buy right now, I would say, especially in this market, you need to go with those true pros there at Alabama Home Mortgage. They'll walk you through that home buying process from pre-approval all the way to closing day. So give them a call today, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies like Kim and Madeline. Prove that to you today. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this? Hello?
Oh, yeah.
What up, Paul?
How you doing, Paul?
I'll whoop that ass. Yes, sir. I couldn't resist.
I'll whoop both of you.
Hey,
me with a good time.
Is that going to be open house so everything unbarred, or is that going to be have to tag in and out?
Good question.
Oh, no, I'd say no holds barred.
No holds barred. All right. Be careful what you wish for.
Oh, joy!
You bringing a chair?
You just don't know how them North Montgomery boys did it back in the day, do you?
We talking Chisholm?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, don't get me started on how us Catholic weirdos are
Yeah.
take things out.
Yeah. Please don't. Please.
I have the power of thousands of years of tradition.
It's got the power of the pen. Be careful.
When I was in junior high, I wore a chain in my belt loop to Goodwin. Mm-hmm. Coach told me several times, says, well, I almost said my last name, but anyway,
I mean,
he said, you could probably run faster if you take that such and such chain out of your belt loop. I could get you on track team.
Wasn't worth it, was it?
Wasn't worth it. Everybody knew I carried the chain and didn't let them dare to break out their little sticks at the pickup trucks or the little billy clubs.
Mm-hmm.
They knew that chain could reach out and touch them. But I do have a question directed for Josh. I've been looking for some time for a place to go do some target practicing. And when Josh contacts you, just pass my name along. I have Googled a place that's up and shorter, but that's a bit out of the way. If that's what he's talking about, well, I may end up just having to go up there and find that place that's shorter. But everything else is indoor range.
Yeah.
And they want stupid money to go to their indoor range.
Paul, there used to be a place.
And I don't really.
There used to be a place in North Boston, out towards 230, like you're going towards Wetumpka, the old Wetumpka Highway. There used to be a place on the left.
Flatwood?
I think that was it, yeah. Yep. And because there was
that's that way in so long.
Before you get there, there's a shotgun place on the right that does a clay shooting, and then you pull up a little bit further, and I think there's a target place on the left.
So if Josh gets in touch, I need to tell him off the chain Paul wants to join us?
Off the chain.
Hey, there you go. There you go. That's my new handle, Off the Chain Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
Take care, buddy.
Later, guys.
See you. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hola, chaperitos.
What up, dog?
Hey, Joe, you got to be careful trying to take on these old men. They got this thing called OMS, which you're probably not aware of.
Old man strength?
Yeah, they'll kick
Oh,
the
I'm aware.
fire out of you.
Yeah, they can talk a big game and about Chisholm and growing up in the woods and stuff. Have you ever heard of the Spanish Inquisition? All right?
Yeah, but you
I've
don't
learned
get Spanish.
things, all right?
I mean,
I know
you're
things.
Catholic and stuff, but I mean,
There was that one Spanish family down on Chisholm Street. I don't know if they were really from Spain,
those are
though.
Puerto Ricans.
Oh,
No, they're
that's
Puerto
what I'm
Rican.
thinking.
No, I've
Yeah.
been studying up on Cortez the Killer and not just like all the Tootsie Fruitsy stuff they teach you in 6th grade.
Great song, by the way.
Yeah, it is. Dave Matthews?
So
No.
Wait, who did? I've heard that version Dave Matthews did. Wait, is it Warren Haynes?
Way earlier.
Wait, who did it?
No, I'm looking it up.
Yeah, because I know the Dave Matthews version.
That's the only one I know.
Yeah. Bob Dylan?
I don't know. Bob Dylan.
Anyway.
Neil Young.
Neil Young. Okay.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, Southern man don't need him around
Sorry,
anyway.
Thank you.
Whatever. That
Who's
dude
that?
put on
Who's
one of the
that guy
best rock
intimidating?
concerts I've ever seen in my life.
What? How many you been to? Counting that one?
Of
I'm
his?
just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm
Of
just kidding.
his?
I'm just kidding.
Just one of his. But he, it was the second. It was the second Bonner. He pulled up on his bike, played the whole show, got on his bike and drove off.
Okay, that's pretty awesome.
That's pretty
I'll
cool.
give him credit.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, whatever. Should have been a boat on the lake.
There you go.
What were y'all talking about earlier? Oh, the inflation, Bitcoin, all that jazz.
Mhm.
Cuba, Venezuela. Did any of these places have anything in common? Did the government perhaps inflate their currency into where you could float the country itself on it? I mean, across the Atlantic. I mean, aren't we essentially doing the same thing that those countries did?
Yes.
Yeah, but
we just think we're better.
We're
at
smarter. Yeah.
It.
All right.
And that
Well,
everybody,
that's
we're
not-
so daggum awesome that every other country will have to put up with it, whether they like it or not, which I just don't buy.
I'm going to go down to the Montgomery Zoo and pick me out dinner. And then I'm going to go watch Super Troopers tonight. You know, I want to prepare for all this Canadian stuff we got going on.
What's that place you go to after work? Shenanigans?
Shenanigans. Oh,
A whole liter of cola.
That's right.
I want a liter of cola.
Yeah, well, it's great meow talking to you, Meow. Like
littering in.
I love the Broken Lizard guys. They're freaking hilarious.
Those guys are hilarious. Yeah, I was just telling somebody earlier I'm going to watch that. I'm going to go home and watch that.
I still love Beer Fest. Makes
Beer
me
Fest is
chuckle
great.
so much.
You know, I have the
Dude,
boot.
that is hilarious.
If you ever want to drink from the boot, I have the boot.
You got Das Boot?
Yes, I have Das Boot.
It's on.
And
What
you
is
do
it?
have-
What is it, Grandpapa?
You have to twist it. You do have to give it the twist.
Hands across
Where's the dog?
America.
That's Grandpapa.
And it really is. You can look back. That cast is genius.
Oh, yeah.
So many great comedic actors.
Dude, those guys are hilarious. That's what's wrong with me is I watch stuff like that, and that's my entertainment. And then we start talking about politics, and then those two things coincide, and it's just like, you know what? I got some ideas.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's still, it gets stuck in my head. Who's Barry Babernath? Who's Barry Babernath? Who's Barry Babernath? Who's Barry Babernath?
Okay, you know, no beer for you, no secret recipe.
Well, and then the scene with Monique.
Oh, Lord. I kind of forgot about that.
I love that scene where, like, when he comes up to the car. That's the best.
Or he wakes up next to a gored deer, and he's like, "Not again, not again."
We gotta get the grizzly bear out. We gotta get the grizzly bear out. Put that up there in DC and see how that goes. They'll probably start a line, see if they can get in next. How long's the wait? Does that reflect the stock market? I don't think that's what they meant by a bear market.
Well,
all right, y'all. I've entertained myself.
Yeah, I'm about to say you're quite tickled with yourself.
All right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later.
We'll see you later, dog.
I think we got time for this next call. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey guys, it's Kilroy.
Hey,
Kilroy, what's up?
Oh, not much. Just driving from one end to Montgomery and back to the other end. I've been driving around a few hours. I haven't seen a single police officer actually. Sort of what I wanted to talk about. So, and fill in where I've got bad information. So, the city's budgeted for 500 officers, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
And they have about 187 is the last number I heard. I don't know, give or take.
It's low.
Mm-hmm.
Way less than half. Well, if you're saying the officers are starting out at like $26,000, and they're I believe I heard they're jacking up the utility rates to help pay for cameras and this and that. Can't they use the money that's already in the budget to either give the officers we have a raise, or to pay for some of these cameras, or to get some of these Pontiac Grand Ams upgraded? Since it's already in the budget, it's not like they're getting back to 500 officers anytime soon. Why can't we incentivize them with that money that's already there to get us at least back up to 250?
It's a good question.
Very good question.
But you got to begin with leadership, and that search continues.
Yeah. I mean, the other day the mayor did say they do plan on trying to give more raises and retention bonuses.
And
but
if you give a higher starting, everybody else who's got seniority wants a raise too.
Right.
Well, bump them up and incentivize more to come in, but why do they have to raise utility rates when that money's already in the budget? They already have the money.
Well, they're going to have to keep raising rates because all these data centers and everything we're going to be putting around here and sucking everything up.
But
making
here's
all
the
this
thing, though.
Bitcoin Joey wants to spend.
Is it really money? I would like someone to put pen to paper and put it in front of me and prove to me that it's really money. Because as we know, there's another organization that picks them up and they pay relatively the same, in my understanding. They just have a better culture and a better quality of life. Money's not always the answer, man.
Nope, not always.
It seems like Montgomery already has the money.
Yeah.
So that shouldn't be the issue either. As
I
far
agree.
as payment, incentives, benefits, equipment, therapy dogs, whatever.
Well, it applies to so much in life. Like you learned this a while back. Money can't buy you class, right? You tried.
I haven't learned that yet. I just don't have enough money yet.
No, you're still that guy from Chisholm.
Yeah, but I wear that badge of honor.
I know.
I mean, I'm really thinking about getting a tattoo right here. Chisholm.
Are you going to spell it correctly?
No, on purpose.
So to be clear,
okay,
I'm seeing 31.9 as the
starting. Still, I mean, honestly, me personally, I'm 22, 23 years old. No, I'm not putting my life on the line, and especially the culture that no way. I can go to Hyundai and make that 6 months.
That you make for
than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
All right, guys.
appreciate it, Gilroy.
Hey, thank you, Kilroy. See you, brother.
Gotta have to stop the hour break. Be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
Well, that's our news. I'm John Scott. U.S. military has finished installing a floating pier in the Gaza Strip. Officials say they're poised to begin ferrying badly needed humanitarian aid into the enclave. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese leader Xi Jinping reaffirming their no-limits partnership that has deepened as both countries face rising tensions with the West, and they criticized U.S. military alliances in Asia and the Pacific region. Meanwhile, military officials in Ukraine say their units locked in street battles with the Kremlin's forces in a northeastern Ukrainian town have halted the Russian advance. Ukraine's forces waiting for deliveries of weapons and ammunition from Western partners. On Wall Street, the Dow had 13 points, the Nasdaq losing 20. This is SRN News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started Wesley Financial Group to do one thing, help people get out of their timeshare nightmare. When you buy a timeshare, the timeshare company can raise your annual maintenance fees at will. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Want out of your timeshare? Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-656-1155. 800-656-1155. 800-656-1155.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
More weather changes ahead with a storm system approaching, but we've got another quiet, dry, warm day today. High around 88, good bit of sunshine. Clouds will be increasing later on, but we're dry through the evening hours tonight if you have plans, and the risk of scattered showers and thunderstorms holding off to the wee hours of Friday morning. Low 69. Tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms become likely, especially in the afternoon and evening hours when some storms could be strong, possibly severe. Locally heavy rainfall. High 84. More scattered showers and storms on Saturday. Back to sunshine Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Got a lot of jobs to do this spring? Save now on Kubota's BX23S tractor, loader, and backhoe combo at Capital Tractor, and check off that to-do list. Powering Alabama, Kubota and Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
1819 News.
Governor Ivey has signed a bill into law regarding reading assessment for first grade students here in Alabama. The First Grade Readiness Bill, now law, requires a reading test for students entering first grade who did not attend kindergarten. The law is to ensure that any educational intervention is offered to a child that may need it before going into first grade. The reading assessment will be developed by the Alabama State Department of Education and will only be applied to those who have not successfully completed kindergarten. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
An officer-involved shooting occurred on Wednesday night in Athens. Police were called to a home where shots were reported fired, and the suspect refused to give up his gun when police arrived. A taser was deployed against the man, but he still pointed the gun at police. The State Bureau of Investigations is now looking into this case. The father who first made parents aware of the transgender space queer who would be working at the Rocket Center Space Camp in Huntsville has finally received a refund from that camp. Clay Yarbrough pulled his daughter from attending the space camp after he was not fully reassured that the biological male identifying as a woman named Molly Bowman would be prohibited from accessing the female student bedrooms or bathrooms. Space Center officials announced that Bowman had been transferred to a different department after many parents also started to pull their children from attending space camp. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Do you or a loved one have leg pain? Are your legs feeling tired? Do you have heavy skin discoloration? Do you have leg wounds or varicose veins? Are your legs swelling or do they have spider veins? If you're experiencing any vein issues, contact the professional caring staff at Ivy Creek Vein Clinic. They can help. Call 334-514-3851. Ivy Creek Vein Clinic, located at 525 Hospital Drive, Suite B in Wetumpka.
Sundays are Little Crumbs days at Riverwalk Stadium. Our Little Crumbs kids celebrate 20 years of biscuits with the first 500 kids 14 years or younger receiving amazing giveaways, including t-shirts, replica jerseys, gloves, and more. All presented by our friends at Go Fish Alabama. And don't forget to bring your favorite furry friend for Bark in the Park on Sundays, presented by WAKA Action 8 News. For tickets and more information, visit biscuitsbaseball.com or call the box office at 323-BALL. Butter up.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's Conversational Radio Show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Hey, miss, I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there's a fella in there who'll pay you $10 if you sing into his can. I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. They broadcast me out on the radio.
Joey Clark.
Welcome to the final hour of News and Views in the afternoon, or as we're calling the show online, Joey Clark Live. And been a good show today. Been good energy. Appreciate all the calls, everybody tuning in online. Alongside me today, we have Eddie Bader and Byron Sheehy. And, well, apparently the NFL does not like Catholics.
Saw that, huh?
Yeah, and it all goes back to Harrison Butker. What a last name.
I know.
But
he's a football player.
He gave a commencement speech.
Yeah.
And, well, let's listen to a little bit of it, just to see what the NFL was so up in arms about. Here he is, Harrison Butker.
It is only in the past few years that I have grown in courage to speak more boldly and directly, because as I mentioned earlier, I have leaned into my vocation as a husband and father, and as a man. To the gentleman here today, part of what plagues our society is this lie that has been told to you that men are not necessary in the home or in our communities. As men, we set the tone of the culture. And when that is absent, disorder, dysfunction, and chaos set in. This absence of men in the home is what plays a large role in the violence we see all around the nation. Other countries do not have nearly the same absentee father rates as we find here in the U.S., and a correlation could be made in their drastically lower violence rates as well. Be unapologetic in your masculinity, fighting against the cultural emasculation of men. Do hard things. Never settle for what is easy. You might have a talent that you don't necessarily enjoy, but if it glorifies God, maybe you should lean into that over something that you might think suits you better.
You know, and Butker went on to say things to the effect of, I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. He continued, I'm beyond blessed with the many talents God has given me. But it cannot be overstated that all my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class in middle school would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embraced one of the most important titles of all, homemaker. And you think, well, he's Catholic. He's a very devout Catholic. Well, the NFL decided we've got to speak out on this.
Yep.
So enter Jonathan Bean. Who's
that,
Jonathan Bean? He is the league's senior vice president, but also its chief diversity and inclusion officer.
Ah, okay. Well, I'm sure he wants everybody to be inclusive, so he would certainly welcome this kind of stuff.
Dude, I'm a football NFL nut. I'm doing a fantasy draft right now with 55 roster spots.
Crap.
I've never heard of this dude.
I think he's a kicker.
Not
He's a
Butker.
kicker.
I know who he is.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
The guy, the DEI guy?
Oh, Jonathan Bean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he's the chief diversity inclusion officer. And here's what he put out there. He said in a statement to People. Harrison Butker gave a speech in his personal capacity. His views are not those of the NFL as an organization. The NFL is steadfast in our commitment to inclusion, which only makes our league stronger. But, you know, if you have certain ideas you're not included, we have to put public statements out to say, well, we're keeping that crazy Catholic at arm's length.
Yeah. Well, did you see what the city of Kansas City did?
What did they do?
They doxed him.
They doxed him? What does that mean?
That means they put his township where he lives.
The city doxed him?
Yep.
I didn't understand it in the context.
The mayor has apologized. They have since removed that, but it was still done, and guarantee you no one will be held accountable.
And of course, he's a devout Catholic. He didn't express his views. It's not like he's on the football field giving his speech. It's not like he's in uniform giving his speech. But they felt the need to get out there and, you know.
What's that tell you?
Dude, the mayor better be careful because I'm pretty sure that dude's leg won him a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, what kills me, the message, this is the mayor's message. The message was deleted, and the city soon posted this. We apologize for our previous tweet. It was shared in error. It was not shared in error. Who makes a tweet of a guy's address and then errorly puts it out there?
But what I think they were saying is some low-level staffer felt compelled to make that, and whenever someone high enough the food chain actually found out about it, that person got fired, and they tried to backtrack.
And that's the thing. This is how I wish they would have handled it. They take that twerp and go, this is the twerp who did it. We are officially firing him right here on the news today. Because it's the only way you're going to discourage from other twerp from doing the same thing. They don't hold these people accountable. They just kind of shoo them to the side. And I'm telling you, if it had been a Republican, if this role had been reversed, we would know that guy's address, his social security number, every woman he's ever slept with. It just goes on. But when it happens on the other side, they quickly shield them and call him a person instead of putting the name out.
Well, and of course, you know, think of all like the drunk driving incidents and violence and other stuff in the league. Yeah, we got that. Yeah, we're not talking.
Well,
but you know, if
abuse.
you encourage women saying, "Hey, maybe being a homemaker could be one of the most meaningful things you ever do in life," then we have to put out a nasty statement and dox him, and it's just.
That's your
I
enemy,
was about
folks.
to say something. It's BS.
Well, that's your enemy.
It really is BS.
That's
And
the
there are
enemy
a
of
lot
the-
of people tired of it.
That's the enemy of freedom right there. Those folks. 100%. And they'll turn around and hide. And even if they did fire this lowly person, whoever it was, guaranteed they'll get picked up by another.
And the language, the
organization.
statement that guy put out, the vice president.
Yeah.
We're all for inclusion. No, you're not. You're
Obviously you're
for enforcing a particular view of the world. You're clearly not inclusive of this guy and people with traditional religious views. Shove your inclusion up your ass if that's what inclusion is. Right up it.
So I'm telling you, you can look up at the sky and the sky is blue. They will tell you the sky is yellow all day long and be pissed that you doubt them.
It's almost like they view certain people as subhuman.
Sure.
And maybe that's a little too far, but if you don't agree with their worldview, you're just an uneducated rube who's not cultured, you know, not sensitive enough.
Right.
Haven't been exposed to the right science class or the right philosopher or
racist.
whatever.
Racist. That's their favorite. You're a racist. How am I racist? I just disagree with you. Yeah, but that's the easiest thing I can put on you. That gets everybody's attention and I can walk away.
Just hate everybody equally, man.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Well, and that's the great irony. In trying to go for equity, they create all sorts of inequities, especially in power and getting rid of people's liberties. When they try to create inclusion, we got to exclude a lot of people to do it. And by diversity, we kind of just mean a euphemism for the biggest minority in an area.
Right. It's BS. And the fact that we keep falling for it. It's BS. Call them out where it happened.
And people know it's BS,
Right,
but they
but they go
like
along.
the power dynamic it allows.
Not
And
when they're
also
underneath
the
it.
feeling of status. So you didn't do anything really other than hew to this latest corporate fashion being pushed by these fascists that run the globe right now.
So do you actually think that mankind, have a need for the hierarchy system? Like,
Yeah, I think it's undeniable. You'll end up in a hierarchy as much as you try to get rid of one.
But I mean, the lower people, you feel like they need it as much as the people on top.
They need the guidance. They need the.
Well, I
parental
wouldn't even
advisory.
say need. I would say that a hierarchy is inevitable. And the healthiest ones are ones where you can climb up and down the ladder.
Well, I didn't mean it from the standpoint of not being able to climb the ladder and being pigeonholed in that spot, but they feel like they need that sort of structure. They need to know that someone
I
is
think there
steering
are
the ship, and that
Yes.
they can actually help someone below them.
For instance, think of a church. Like, not everybody's going to be as hip to theology and all the interpretations of scripture as, say, the pastor. And yeah, everybody's going to have their role within that church. And that's the beauty of life. People aren't equal. They're equal in the eyes of God, but in terms of their talents and their what
Everybody
they're
brings something
interested in, their
different to the table,
proclivities,
though.
yeah,
That's-
what they want to do with life. Like, we're complementary.
Right.
And if we offer, even though we're not equal on a lot of different fronts, if we offer one another grace and dignity, honor and dignity, and think of it this way, the more honor and dignity I give to somebody, even though they don't deserve it, it means it's more in my merit.
Mm-hmm.
And that should be kind of the way you manage a lot of these things. But we've gotten to this point where it's like, nope, we need cultural shame campaigns and struggle sessions. We need government boards and bodies to be critical of everybody's speech. It's just nonsense. And again, it doesn't end up, it's a pipe dream. Were you high when you came up with DEI? I think you were. You're being sold a lie.
Guilt, man.
272-9228. You know, this guy could have given this commencement speech and it's nothing. And I'm fine with a world of people that want to say, no, what's the Friedan line? Women need men like a fish needs a bicycle. You want to believe that? Go live your life that way. I don't have a problem with it. What I have a problem with is people take over these centers of power and then they just try to force it down everybody's throat. Just force it.
Like you said, go live that way, but they do, and they look around, they go, wait, there's nobody here. I must go tell others how they must live their life.
Right.
And they go try to re-educate others. Back in the day, we'd push those people back out of society, but now we welcome the nuts in.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hi, Joey. It's Pat.
Hey, Pat.
I thought I was listening to Greg's show there for a second. I said, no, that sure sounds like Joey. The question I've got for the NFL DEI guy is, how much money are they paying this idiot?
Oh, he's probably one of the highest paid out there, buddy. Yep. Most of the DEI people are.
That he probably is. And imagine what good they could really be doing with that money versus throwing away on something as worthless as DEI.
Oh, I agree. I agree. The money that we're
Anyway.
wasting on that, yeah.
The only
I just-
entity that probably prints money as quickly as the U.S. government's the NFL. So I don't think
They're a nonprofit organization.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't forget that,
right.
folks. Nonprofit.
Anyway,
Well, thank you,
chill,
Pat.
Joey, chill. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah. No, I'm actually in a pretty good mood. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Pat.
Okay.
See you, bud.
No, it's kind of like, sometimes you're in a good mood and you just feel like yelling.
Feel spicy?
Yeah. You feel like yelling.
Feeling froggy.
Yeah. Well, it's also, I get tired of these psychopaths and sadists that run everything. And then they wrap up their psychopathy and sadism and I'm compassionate and just want to care for everybody while I make billions of dollars and screw you while saying I'm helping you.
Yep.
Hysterical, shrill. I'm gonna stop.
Sure?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop. 272-9228. Hey, let's go from that to this. Did you see what little Georgie Stephanopoulos said?
What'd that little turd say?
He was on, who was he on with? I'm forgetting. It was some show.
He was probably on a
was
step stool, I can tell you that much.
Let me see here. It was probably some dumb low IQ like morning show or The View or something. Oh yeah, it was The View. Yeah, which, to quote the great Tim Dillon, has set women back generations. Hey, you know what The View could use? Men. Why don't you try that? It might be a little better.
Would you go on there, Joey? Would you, if they said,
If
Joey,
I could be a panelist?
you'd be a panelist, but you'd be the heel.
You know who they need to get? They need to get the female comedian that was doing the Tom Brady roast and let her
Nikki Glaser?
let her sit in on The View for a little bit.
Yeah, Nikki Glaser. I saw her sit down with Jimmy Kimmel after that roast, and he's like, weren't some of the jokes dated? Weren't some of the jokes, so much about your sex life? Isn't that just a shame, Nikki? And it's like, actually, if you listen, Jimmy, most of the jokes were all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, Jimmy, didn't you do Flatface like 15 years ago?
Well, he's still atoning.
Yeah, very much so.
Sarah's making him go on the tour.
No doubt.
Something like that.
Watch her on Theo. Theo sits down with her, and
that's good stuff.
That's the good Nikki Glaser.
Yeah, I like Nikki Glaser a lot. No, I like people that aren't culturally the same as me. Like, there's plenty of great people in this world who are doing creative things, good things for people. It's just there's something about the folks that are so proud of how much they do for society that gives me the heebie-jeebies.
But you said it earlier, and I've noticed it, and I mentioned it to a few other people, and it's sad, man. The number of people who had this false cry of wanting to help, or we have to do something, we have to do this, these people can't help themselves. Well, what are you doing about it?
Right, and then it gets to this point of it. Remember when AOC says something to the effect, well, I'm morally correct even though I'm not factually correct.
Yeah.
I don't, people make fun of her for that. I think that describes American political society and a lot of our major institutions perfectly. We might not be, factually correct, or we might lack effective, practical effectiveness, like to actually get the job done, serve people well, but at least we're morally righteous.
Joey, that describes every drunk argument I've ever had.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, now you're bringing back memories of myself and listening to others. Yeah, that is. I don't have the details, but I know. But actually, this clip of little Georgie Stephanopoulos is a good example of this. He's going to talk about, to the ladies on The View, the deep state.
I hope he doesn't mansplain, because that would be bad.
That would be bad. But I don't think he's too cute to mansplain. Let's look at little Georgie there. He might be old
How many
and gray.
phone books is he sitting on?
Right. But he's going to talk about the deep state and how we should actually, love them.
Oh.
My favorite part about doing the book, I interviewed about 100 duty officers from the White House. And these are people that come, they're relatively young, people who come from all over the government, the CIA, the DIA, Defense Department, military. And, some people like to call those people the deep state.
Deep state.
Well, the big thing I learned doing this book is that the deep state is packed with patriots. Yes. People who go to work every single day on the front lines of the most intense crises the country faces and do it to serve their country and to serve the presidency, not the president. They don't care about political parties. They're there to serve the presidency and the institution.
And
What side of the coin do you think he's on there, Joey?
Well, no, George, some of us with a little more sophisticated understanding, you're clearly a deep state operative.
Yeah. Clinton.
Or I would put it a ruling class operative. No wonder you're covering for them. I'm sure there are a lot of patriotic, hardworking, talented people within the so-called deep state, the administrative state. In fact, I say that all the time, right, Eddie? That I don't want them in jail. Right. I want to give them pink slips with very generous severance packages. Yeah. Go write the next great American novel or make a movie or something. You're great, talented, creative people, but you're screwing up. You've been screwing up for at least 3 decades now. You took granddaddy and daddy's inheritance and you spoiled it. You pissed it away.
Yep.
When was the big push that Congress got away from making laws and all the regulatory bodies actually just started passing
writing their own stuff?
I think it gets going under FDR. When he had that rubber stamp Congress and then World War II happened, it created a lot of what we have today. The administrative state, the national security state.
I think it picked up exponentially, I want to say, under Nixon around that
Nixon
time.
Added to it. No, and there were a lot of add-ons, but I think it really, the current modern American state gets going after World War II.
Mm-hmm.
So what the Administrative Act, I think, of 1946, some have suggested that's the real Constitution. Think about how much they refer to the interagency process. Right. And, I think some of the folks in these agencies over the last several decades did some great work, but maybe you did your best work 20, 30 years ago. You've heard this rant plenty of times, Eddie. Start the clock at the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Mm-hmm.
And take the whole 90s. We made some mistakes in the 90s, but we're America. Nobody can touch us militarily. Right. Our culture is
We're still
dominant.
very well respected.
Like we're wealthier than anybody has ever been on Earth. Mm-hmm. And now fast forward 20 years to now. How we doing?
Not too good.
But everybody in Washington will say, oh, we're doing great. We're patriots. We care. I'm like, I don't care if you care. What is the practical effect of your policies? I don't care if you think you're morally right. How many Ukrainians are going to have to die before you realize sending them weapons is not going to win that damn war against Putin?
All of them.
And how moral is that? These people overthrow entire nations and with a smile and give each other a medal about it, while also stealing your wealth and liberties. I'm in such a good mood today. 272-9228. Little Georgie there. They're just patriots, right?
Doing it anonymously.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
As one of them told me, Mike Seeley said, we serve in silence.
Yeah.
Sorry for that last tag there, but we serve in silence.
I wish you served in silence.
Wait, how many CIA, FBI, all sorts of folks have been in media?
I think
especially lately now.
Good chunk of them, man.
Yeah, they serve in silence.
Mm-hmm.
What's the old saying used to be, the CIA is doing their job when you don't hear about them.
Right.
That's
one thing. But it's just, who killed Jack? Not our Jack. Jack Kennedy.
Mafia.
You think it was the mafia?
Mm-hmm.
You don't think it was the agency?
I think it was over oil. Mm-hmm.
But why would the mafia and it being over oil still be a deeply held secret all these years later now?
If all that money was legitimized and started a major bank in a certain state, and a lot of people got wealthy off of it.
Yeah, that could be a problem. Yeah, you're right. Now, there's just a lot of examples in our history of these folks have gone way too damn far. And they wrap themselves up in, I'm serving. It's that old line. You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
I don't want all of them on that wall. Not that wall, anyway.
And at a certain point, it's like, don't the American people actually have a say? Can't we actually have a government that is represented in the Constitution actually representing us again? Or is the demands of modern geopolitics and modern living, that's outdated?
Going back to where the slippery slope kind of happened, or where we really got off the tracks, I'm going back to the TARP bailout. I mean, to me, that was they actually had to change the legislation to stop people from being prosecuted and sent to jail to do what they did.
Mm-hmm.
And that, the House voted against it. They had a closed door meeting. AIG said, if you want this economy to run, we control about 90% of all the insurance on planes, trains, boats, automobiles, pogo sticks. Pass this or everything gets shut down. And instead of having a healthy, clean depression for 3 years, now we have a national debt that's $20 trillion more than what it was.
Well, and also, when you look at how much money the Fed printed up, because it wasn't just the money Congress allocated, it's all this other money the Fed created out of thin air to shore up banks here and all over the world.
Well, that's really what I'm talking about.
Sure. And so have you seen the charts where when Silicon Valley Bank and First Republic and all that started to go under a year or two ago? Remember, they were holding all these treasury bonds, the bonds with the interest rates rising, their value dipped, and these regional banks were about to just go belly up, and they, without votes or anything, just put a bunch of money. It dwarfs what they did in 08. And we're not really talking about it. It's under control. You didn't see this huge, all the headlines and the freakouts, because we've been here before. We'll just print up more money and give it as a guarantee to folks. And so, you're creating a system that is inherently anti-fragile, and it seems like the only way to keep it running is to continue to rip everybody else off.
It is.
If the music stops,
Ponzi scheme, man.
If the merry-go-round stops, we're all going to crash. But they're going to have to keep this thing going until the bubble bursts, and it's going to be so much worse. It might be 2 years, it might be 20 years.
See, and that's what I don't necessarily buy. I think it could be bad, but I think people underestimate if you actually set the American people free, how quickly we will rebuild into something different and new and better.
That can't happen either.
So I didn't mean it was going to be bad for generations.
Right. Okay.
It's going to be a sharp pain.
Oh yeah. I agree with you there. I think the only thing that straightens out what's happening in this country isn't who wins an election. It'll probably be some great calamity.
Yes.
And it will require a test of, for lack of a better word, faith in people.
We're definitely going to have to re-up on patriotism.
Right. We are.
No doubt. But honestly, those are kind of things that have to happen and to bring USA back together. That's look at 9/11. Before 9/11, we weren't greatly divided, but there was division.
Mm-hmm.
Day after 9/11, everybody wanted to be an American again.
For
Everybody.
2.5 weeks.
Right.
272-922.
I hate it, but that's something that has to happen again some way, somehow. We have to be able to get ourselves back together.
Well, and apparently Putin landed in China today and is meeting with President Xi.
So our administration is bringing two of our enemies together, just kind of force them together. That's what worked out very well for us, I'm sure, in the end.
Well, that's the actual strategy. I've heard some smart people talk about it, where what you do is you tie like Xi and Putin together, and all the bad behavior Putin does, you blame Xi for, and you say, bad boy, we're not going to trade with you anymore.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I'm sure he's real scared.
Question, I've been meaning to ask you this for a couple of weeks. Do you think we've had a president in the last 20 years that it could explain American history the way Putin explained history to Tucker Carlson the other night, or a couple of weeks ago? That deep, that simple, and that detailed. Last 20 years of presidents. Do we have
If
anyone
they could
that could do
actually
that?
speak with candor,
Yeah.
not like with the usual stick up their butts.
Right.
Like, I can't
could they?
actually talk honestly because there are dumb people that'll misconstrue me and manipulators who will misconstrue me. No, they could speak freely. I actually think a lot of presidents could do a pretty daggum good job of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think W gets a bad rap of being dumb.
No,
I
don't
think
he was
W
dumb.
was taken for a ride in some ways, but and like Clinton is no dummy. I think there are a lot of them who, if you wanted to have a big conversation about, say, the last 30 years, they could. And they would try to justify themselves. But don't ever confuse that these folks are just stupid. Some of them are. Most of them are. They're quite clever.
Well, the reason I say that, and I do think most of them are stupid, I know we differ on that. I've met a lot of people in very high places, and 10 seconds later realize they can't tie their own damn shoe. They were put up there because they're a puppet.
Well, right.
And
Well, there's that.
There's a lot of that.
There is that. Just, I don't know. I wasn't that impressed with Putin's history lesson either.
No, not all that. Do we have anybody that could do that? In the last 20 years, I got nobody.
I bet you W could. I mean, his dad was former head of CIA. He can probably tell you more history that he's forgotten. He was told, than the most. Now, when Obama got in, that's when the narrative's going to change. That's where we're going to get a different history. That's when all the education in the classroom started changing. And from that point.
And it is interesting how,
two
as
phase back
the
in.
right and left were coming together after TARP and the bailouts in 2008, where you had libertarians and you also had the Tea Party, you had Occupy Wall Street, and, they had their disagreements on what the solution was, but they're all kind of seeing the same problem. And there's actually people kind of trying to work together. All of a sudden, then, the corporate America and the government started pushing out all this DEI crap and ESG crap and all the cultural hot button issues. We got to inflame the people so they don't work together.
It's my favorite Far Side cartoons. The King standing up there with the guy right beside him, and there's the pitchforks and the torches. He's like, "What am I going to do?" He looks at him and says, "Just tell the other side that the other side wants to take their pitchfork."
There you go.
That's all you got to do.
That's it. Walk away.
All right, you divide folks by spreading lies.
It works.
272-9228. We got to hit this break, but first, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And they're at Pest Pro Services. Ashley and that great team are ready to help you with any of your pest control problems. So maybe you've got worries. You haven't had termite treatment done in a while.
It's termite season.
Yeah, it is.
Get it inspected.
All this heat, all this moisture.
Yeah, buddy.
They love it. So do mosquitoes.
Oh, yeah.
They love it. Fire ants love this time of year.
Yep, La Cucarachas. They're dancing.
In fact, if you're worried about all these pests, If you want a trusted pest control company, go with Pest Pro Services. They've been growing leaps and bounds over the last few years for very good reason. They're just that good. Ashley herself and Ashley, the team she's built around her, they just do great work. And, you've used them, how many people?
Hundreds at this point. In fact, Zach's doing a termite report for me today.
Right.
Just talked to him a while ago. So, yeah. When I need things done, this is the only pest control company I call.
So that number, 265-9990, that's 265-9990, or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces today. When you want to know, call a pro, Pest Pro Services, and be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and the whole crew here, special shout out to Eddie, that we sent you. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Get Memorial Day savings all month at Lexus of Montgomery. New Lexus IS 300, only $463 a month. Like the new ES 350, now just $535 a month. Luxury doesn't have to be out of your budget. With Memorial Day savings all month, there's never been a better time to drive a new Lexus. Memorial Day savings end soon, so rush to Lexus of Montgomery, part of the Sutherland Automotive Group. VIN number RU 2410573999, due signing 5,000 mile lease. VIN number R5130706 4527, due signing 10,000 mile lease with 36 months with approved credit plus tax, tag, title, doc fee. Expires 6/4/24.
Fox Tonight is packed with a premiere and a finale.
I love that.
First, Ken Jeong's back with an all-new
I Can See Your Voice.
Can you spot a bad singer without ever hearing them sing?
I will not be fooled.
Then the farmers and ladies reunite for the Farmer Wants a Wife finale. And everyone's dying to know,
are you two still together?
An incredible all-new night, tonight on Fox.
Tonight on Fox 20.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Fat broads and horse-faced lesbians.
Shut up, silly woman.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Both Eddie and Byron here in the studio with me.
I like the gym, dude. This is good.
Yeah, I got new equipment, and that was one to let's test out the new equipment.
It works.
It does. Let's go to East of the Rockies. Hey, East.
Hey, listen, very quickly, Eddie's got a point. I think it needs to be explored. I was on my way back from Lake Jordan, I'm sorry, I have to pronounce it correctly, and found a little box turtle in the middle of the road, and so I stopped and picked him up, moved him across the road in the direction he was heading. Didn't want him to get run over. A lot of these politicians are kind of like these old box turtles that get put on top of fence posts, man. They didn't get up there by themselves, and, they're not going to get down without some help, right?
Yeah. There you go.
Now, my question to the panel is this, though. Who have we got on the bench? I mean, both Democrats and Republicans. I mean, who's going to be up to bat after these two old guys expire? I just don't see someone that's up and coming, and that's kind of discouraging.
The way I think about it is sometimes good people are thrust into greatness. They don't exactly have that in them to begin with, but the situation calls for it. I think that's probably where we're going to get.
Well, and there are a lot of new young senators, congressmen, And don't underestimate people like a Vivek Ramaswamy who come out of nowhere, who have done very well in the private sector and are independently wealthy and have a great message.
Yeah, none of these people are Messiah. I mean,
no, right.
They can all be replaced.
Well, and I'm a big fan of Anna Paulina Luna, but it's just because I got a crush on her.
Well, I'm a big fan of Marsha Blackburn. I mean, she was my original
crush on her?
Congressional crush back in 06. So
06?
Oh, yeah.
Years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
She was still in the House.
Oh, you eyeballing her early.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Got an eye for talent.
Kind of a
you do.
90s reference there. She's in the house, huh? Yeah. I got you.
Barefoot in the house.
You know, that's something that I was telling someone earlier today that while we can't depend on the lamestream media to give us the facts, I am so thankful that Blue Water has outlets like yours and 1819 too, man. It makes a difference. But I'm looking for that bench. I would like to see it beef out a little bit and, just see where we go from there.
Honestly, man, I don't think it really matters party. I mean, if someone doesn't have the moral fortitude to do the right thing, and I hate to make it sound so simplistic, but if they don't do the right thing when we're not watching, then we're screwed. It doesn't matter party.
You need two things. You need people who are, yes, morally upright and actually have integrity. And then you need a practical support network that allows, it's one thing to be morally pure and you fall on your sword and, okay, you're a martyr. Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to continue to build systems that can challenge the current system. And there are people working on it.
And the incumbents keep putting things in place so that it becomes harder and harder.
Yep.
I mean, we jokingly call it the incumbency protection plan.
That's why I love the wrecking ball theory. It's why I love Vivek. It's like, let's get in there, knock all this stuff down. And, we might have to build some stuff back, but we're in need of a massive renovation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the foundation is bad. It needs to be replaced. Hey, you guys have a great afternoon.
You too.
See?
Did you see that Lauren Boebert was there at the courtroom with Trump?
No, I did not see that.
No? What do you think of Lauren Boebert, Eddie?
She's easy on the eyes.
Crazy eyes.
Joey,
lie.
we've talked about women that have...
We have had this conversation.
Right.
I tend to like them.
Right. We all learn our lessons with those kind of women the hard way.
You love running mascara, don't you? That's your jam.
Look at the time. We got to end this break.
Buddy.
We'll be right back.
Running mascara.
But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Montgomery, I just have one question. What kind of car are you shopping for? If you want new Toyotas, pre-owned vehicles, and our best customer service and prices, it's all here at Toyota of Montgomery. No matter what you're looking for, the selection of new Toyotas are huge. Shop every model in every trim. Camry, Corolla, Tundra, Highlander. Plus, get an exceptional value with our certified pre-owned vehicles. They'll look, drive, and even smell brand new. The only difference is they cost thousands less. So what car are you shopping for? Chances are you can get it and save big on it at Toyota of Montgomery because it's all here. Big selection, great values, and exceptional customer service. Hurry to Toyota of Montgomery on East Boulevard, exit 6 off 85, part of the Sutherland Automotive Group, online at toyotaofmontgomery.com.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Earnest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Earnest, 334-279-7431. Earnest Financial, LLC.
More weather changes ahead with a storm system approaching, but we've got another quiet, dry, warm day today. High around 88, good bit of sunshine. Clouds will be increasing later on, but we're dry through the evening hours tonight if you have plans, and the risk of scattered showers and thunderstorms holding off to the wee hours of Friday morning. Low 69. Tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms become likely, especially in the afternoon and evening hours when some storms could be strong, possibly severe, locally heavy rainfall, high 84. More scattered showers and storms on Saturday, back to sunshine Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Do you have big plans this summer? Dive into summer with an ASE Credit Union vacation loan. Whether you've got a trip coming up, projects at home, or just need a little extra cash, we've got you covered. So don't put your plans on hold. Visit yourasecu.com or stop by and see us today.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
On the After Hours show.
Welcome back. Byron making us laugh up here. 272-9228 if you want to try to get in here before we close up shop. Greg Budell and Happy Hour coming up. Again, 272-9228. And some breaking stuff out of the courtroom. And, you know, because sometimes you can go to the other side and they're saying and seeing the same thing. It's like, well, at least everybody's sort of on the same page, right? Yeah. Well, this is Ari Melber of MSNBC.
Okay.
Talking to Andrea Mitchell and some other
Andrea
woman. And,
Andrea Mitchell.
Andrea. She didn't even talk that way, but.
For whatever reason, I'm sorry.
Wait, why are you dogging out Mrs. Greenspan?
That name, it just, I don't know.
But this is their reaction to this cross-examination of Michael Cohen. Now, Judge Knapp told us yesterday Cohen seemed all right on the stand, but that was just with, like, the prosecutor.
Right.
Cross-examination's been happening a little while now. Let's listen in. This is, again, MSNBC, folks. Ari Melber talking about it.
I think the punches are building cumulatively. I think Tuesday there were bruises and today there's blood, to extend the metaphor. They're not done, and this is a back and forth process. I was listening to your reporting, following along like everyone. I'm going back in the courtroom next. I was just speaking to our colleague Lawrence O'Donnell, who spoke to MSNBC today as well. I think the collective view is these are moments the jury will remember, and they are instilling or adding possible doubts about Michael Cohen's long-term credibility. As I think everyone knows by now who's followed the trial, the question isn't has he changed his mind and retracted things. Both sides agree on that. That's not in doubt. The question is, does this guy still lie? And if he does still lie about anything, little, medium, or large, can you trust him? And the standard is not, okay, do we have to be convinced that he lies about everything? The standard for the jury and why Blanche is making some progress is, by the end of this, does the jury have reasonable doubt about Cohen telling the truth on elements of the crime? The other stuff won't ultimately matter when they deliberate. It just accrues. But what we saw in that kind of dramatic back and forth as it's been described today, well, but you did lie, and have you lied, and why do you sound like this, and a podcast where you might sound allegedly unhinged, all of that accrues to whether jurors go back and say, I doubt whether he's telling the truth about an element of the crime, for example.
So here's a little more meat on the bone for everybody. I'm looking at the Daily Mail. They wrote this up, saying that Donald Trump trial updates, that was a lie. Michael Cohen is torn to shreds by Trump's attorney in blistering cross-examination over Stormy Daniels' hush money payments. I'm reading direct here from the Daily Mail. That was a moment of pure lawyering, the sort of gotcha moment that you see in L.A. law, but all too rarely in an actual courtroom. Defense lead Todd Blanche had spent the morning trying to undermine Michael Cohen's testimony, using his own words in text messages and on podcasts to portray the witness as a bitter ex-employee intent on revenge. It wasn't until 12:30 that he finally got to the meat of Cohen's testimony, that Trump was directly involved in the hush money and cover-up scheme. He did so by having the jury look at text messages sent by Cohen on the evening of October 24th, 2016, after Cohen had unmasked someone making nuisance phone calls. The culprit forgot to mask their number, and when Cohen challenged them, they admitted they were a 14-year-old. So what, wondered the assembled ranks of the press? Blanche continued. At about 8:04 p.m., Cohen messaged Keith Schiller, Trump's body man, who is always at his side, asking for help dealing with the matter. A phone call lasting barely 90 seconds follows. Now Blanche goes in for the kill, reminding Cohen that on Monday he had claimed that he had claimed that call was designed to update Trump on Stormy Daniels. That was a lie, Blanche exclaimed in the most dramatic moment of the case so far, because you were actually talking to Mr. Schiller about you getting harassing phone calls from a 14-year-old. Cohen says he had time to do both. I always ran everything by the boss immediately. In this case, it would have been saying everything's been taken care of. It's been resolved, Cohen said. But a seed of doubt has now been cast. Cohen is the key to the case, and a major question has been raised with Blanche turning everything on the dime. So do you know why you were reaching out to Mr. Schiller in the evening of October 24, 2016? Cohen says, yes. Why? Because I needed to speak to Mr. Trump, and I knew that Keith Schiller was with him. Why did you need to speak with Mr. Trump at that point in the evening of October 24th? To discuss the Stormy Daniels matter and the resolution? And did you have an understanding about whether during that conversation you resolved that, you were moving forward? Excuse me. Why is this cutting off? Dadgummit. So apparently he caught him in the lie. He caught him essentially saying, I made this call to update Trump because Trump always had to be in on it. No, you were complaining about some other little thing. Like, it does show Michael Cohen, number one, it doesn't speak highly of Trump if you surround yourself with pieces of crap like this.
You got to have fixers.
Well, not everybody's going to be who they present as.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to let a little water go under the bridge before you can figure out who some of these folks are.
Yeah, so it's I just don't see Trump ending up in prison over something like this. I think it's just absurd.
The part that kind of hit me was the guy, saying all they need is just to think that he's, capable of lying.
Yeah.
Right.
And we only need one, right?
Right. And also to add a little more color to this scene down there in front of the New York courtroom, dozens of pink penis balloons were released by a MAGA activist outside of the courthouse where Trump trial is on a lunch break. There have been several protesters, pro and anti-Trump, stationed outside the court throughout the day. The balloons have faces printed on them of Judge Merchant and special counsel Jack Smith. Yeah, and that's clearly a shiny penis balloon with Jack Smith's face on it.
I want to know who paid for that. I want to know who paid for those.
Wow.
One of the statements that came out was Cohen admitted that he wanted to be in the cabinet under Trump. And because that didn't happen, he got a little butthurt over that too.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of detail here. Sorry that the transcript I was looking at just kind of, yeah. Here it is. I'm going to bring it up on the stream, the balloon.
Dude. So can we order those for anyone now? Is that something we can all get?
There it is, folks, in all its glory.
Maybe out of stock.
God bless America. 272-922.
There's not much diversity in the penis.
Yeah. It's shiny and pink. This part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings. How about that custom design necklace?
It's really nice.
And that story behind it, that an 80-year-old woman killed a gator and wanted to commemorate the killing of that gator by having a necklace made of its teeth. And by the way, that's how talented Josh Ryder is. You can throw whatever at him, any idea, any design. The guy's going to make it a reality. Truly is gifted. He's an artist, but he's also a little bit of a mad scientist. Especially like things with the spa treatments. Say you want that white gold ring you bought years back to shine again like it's brand new.
Ooh.
He can do that for you. Maybe reset stones, maybe update a piece of jewelry. And of course, they have an amazing selection there at Dillon Rings, from high-end jewelry items to those everyday jewelry pieces that don't break the bank, but they still look great. So check them out today. That's Dillon Rings. You can always go to DillonRings.com, or I'd really suggest you stop by 119 Brown Springs Road right here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway, kind of where the old Fun Zone used to be, is how I remember it. And be sure to tell them you heard about him here on News and Views in the afternoon.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
The City of Montgomery Department of Cultural Affairs presents the Riverbend Brew Fest Friday, May 17th in downtown Montgomery, beginning at 6 p.m. at the Union Station Train Shed. Brew Fest will feature a large selection of craft and specialty beers from local, regional, and national breweries. Free admission with tickets on site. Ticket price includes a commemorative tasting glass and will be benefiting the Riley Foundation. There'll be food vendors and a special performance by voice finalist Kurt J. For ticket information, visit mgmcityevents.com. Sponsored by Blue Water Broadcasting and the City of Montgomery Department of Cultural Affairs.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Welcome back. Final moments here. What are you being a chuckle bucket about over there?
Because that beautiful lady walked in here. Seen her
Surprise.
forever today.
That really is awesome. Let's go to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray.
Man, I'm sitting here with my feet on my desk, just about to close my eyes for a second, and y'all call me.
What, are you trying to play boss man all of a sudden?
It has been a day. I've been running all day long. I just want to catch my breath. I got to go do one more appointment and then come close up the house, and we're having our little birthday party tonight for Sailor.
Oh, awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah, we have a fun birthday party for the family. All we do is we go around and tell the birthday person what we don't like about them.
I like this tradition.
It's a great tradition. We just do. I don't know what made me think of it like 20 years ago, and the girls love it. They get so excited.
I love this idea.
Now, my parents and her parents, they don't quite understand it. They just don't get it. I'm like, it's something fun. It's fun to do a roast every now and then.
Yeah, it is.
It's brutal. Yeah, so yeah, everybody's excited about roasting Sailor tonight.
Well, that looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Sounds like it. And things going still all right there at Prattville Carpet?
It is, and if you need a floor, call us at 285-8117. We've got a bunch of vinyl plank on sale that we brought in. So if you're looking for vinyl plank, carpet, hardwood, there's a lot of good pricing going on right now for Mohawk. So call us, and we'll get out there and give you that free measurement and save some money.
Just that simple, folks. 285-8117. That's 285-8117. And be sure when you call to tell them that you heard Ray here on the radio.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
You too,
man.
Well, we're pretty much out of time here. Do we learn anything today?
Few different things. Don't ask me what they are
Yeah,
right now.
does anybody take notes?
I take pages all the time. Why? I don't know.
Well, today I learned that when I'm in a good mood, I like yelling.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. I do enjoy it.
Is yelling your love language?
Depends.
I know how to make Tannerite.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you did learn that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you learned about me and mascara and all that. Hey, happy hour, Greg Vidal. He's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
Well, that's our news. I'm John Scott. Fewer Americans applying for unemployment benefits